And we are live on another edition of All In on High School Sports slash NJIC football. Kurt Valenti, Jennifer Valenti, Jack Rizzo in the back. What is up, Jack?
How you guys doing today? It's just me today. Eli has a much-deserved day off today.
He does.
Very true. You guys do a lot. We appreciate your help. So welcome back, Jack.
Yes, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Jen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Big week of high school football. A lot going on. Past week we got to get to. Looking forward. Hey, that it's more important now, right? Not the stuff that happened, the stuff that's ahead. So I'm excited. If you want to talk about a couple of things, what's going on?
Let's talk about what's on the agenda this evening. We have a full packed slate tonight. In our 8 o'clock hours, Kurt mentioned we're doing all things North Jersey football. Tonight we're going to be joined by Coach Rick Devonta and two of his players from the Montville football program. And then looking ahead to the NJIC hour, we have we got a lot. We have Becton joining us. We have Rutherford joining us. We have Hasbrouck Heights joining us. We have division leaders. We have players of the week. We have stats. We have the pick'em standings. We have the picks for week 4.
We have a guest picker.
It's just a lot. So, buckle in, stay tuned, and we're looking forward to bringing it all to you. So anything I missed there, Kurt, that you can think of?
I just want to get right to the comments. Mr. Kirkpatrick, good evening, Jen and Kurt. Hello, Jack. Can't wait to hear those picks later. A lot of pressure, Jack. A lot of pressure. And then he's saying, and most important, looking forward to the 4-hour show. Joking, just looking forward to the 2-hour show. Well, he had me there for a second, like, whoa.
We've been exceeding those 2 hours and we have so many, you know what it is? What's our goal is to bring, we want to highlight as many kids as possible. And you know what? There's a lot of great play going on in the NJIC, and we want to give those kids their due. So if we go a little over that hour to get those mentions and to highlight those programs, then we're going to do it. So our pleasure.
There's our good friend Albert Knoppers. Howdy, y'all. Have a great grand show. What's up, Albert?
Thanks for watching. Oh, I did want to mention a quick shout out to our sponsors. We have Red's Restaurant and Beer Garden, 2 locations, Carlstadt and Newark. They also owners of the Roosevelt, which is in East Rutherford. We have been to Red's. Jack, you were saying you've been to Red's, right? Especially if you're a Giants football fan, you've probably been to Red's. But you know what? The Roosevelt also, if you're looking for something a little bit different, they have this speakeasy type theme and nod to it's named after actually FDR Roosevelt during the Prohibition era. So very cool vibe and feel there as well. So be sure to check out those places, and want to thank them for sponsoring us as well.
You know what though? That's just not I'm a Jet fan. I mean, I'm not a Jet fan at all, but I'm saying the Jets are hot. What about Jet fans too?
Well, I just feel like it's typically known as Giants. No, am I wrong about that?
I don't know about that. I mean,
maybe that's just my bias.
It's MetLife Stadium.
It could be my bias.
It's just not Giants.
You know
Stadium.
what? I feel like it was always Giant Stadium.
Oh,
so
that changed.
That's my bias. That's my bias.
Changed.
Just because you're an Aaron Rodgers fan doesn't mean
I am an Aaron Rodgers fan.
But we mentioned we have Montville football with us tonight, and I say we get Coach Devonta and his
Let's
players
bring them right in.
Alrighty, you have that, or you want me to get them?
Yeah, you're gonna have to bring.
Okay, let's bring in our guests here. Let's get in Coach Devonta, and we've got Mike and Anthony as well. Let's just make sure that everybody is in and can hear us. Hi guys, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Can you hear us? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't look like I have Coach Devonta. I know it looks like his camera might be off. I'm not sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Coach. You have your camera, we have audio, so if the camera's not working, we should be good to go. You want to check?
Yeah, I've been trying to get the camera on, but the audio may be the way to go tonight.
All right, that's
no
fine.
problem. Well, I'll miss seeing your face, Coach Devonta. We're all
Great to see you, Coach. And Kurt, great to see you as well.
You too.
Thanks so much for joining us. Let me formally introduce everybody. We are joined by Coach Rick Devonta of Montville Football, head coach since 2016. His team competes in the Super Football Conference Liberty Blue Division. I have to give a shout out, Coach, because you are a 3-sport coach at Montville High School and have been for I don't want to say how long, but I know for a long time, doing triple duty there with football, wrestling, and boys lacrosse. So, Coach, I commend you for that. And he is joined by two of his seniors, Anthony Feaster and Mike Vito. Hi, guys. And again, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, you're up there,
Coach, I'll start with you. And again, thank you, Coach. You're always welcome on our show. We love to have you. 4-0 right now, number 1 seed in Group 3. It's early, but still number 1 seed. What are your reasons? Give a couple reasons for the hot start this year.
Hot start. You're looking at two of the reasons for the hot start right here, right on screen with us right now. Anthony and Mike have been doing a fantastic job on both sides of the ball, leading the way as captains, along with a few other guys in our program. This senior class overall has put in the time and commitment that's been really outstanding. Starting from December all the way through, I think our weight room time has been outstanding. So just the leadership on the team, that's why we're off to that great start. And, just the skilled players that we have in the program right now. Really, really blessed to have these guys.
Coach, I want to piggyback off of that question because you mentioned how you have like a senior class that's like contributors and leaders. Like, from coaching so many sports, like when you come into preseason and you have those returners who know your system, who know your expectations, like how nice has that been for you as a starting off point this fall?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, as soon as we finished last season, these guys took the role as leaders in the weight room and all the way through. And it actually felt at times like they were seniors around December or January of last year. So they would been kind of guiding the program football along since then. And it's been awesome.
That's great. Anthony, I'm going to come to you next. As Kurt said, you guys are off to a hot start, right? You're a 4-year letter winner. Over your first 3 seasons, you guys have gone 19-12, state tournament qualifiers each year. As a sophomore and a freshman, you get knocked out first round. But last year, you go to the semifinals of North 2 Group 3, right? Now, it's been like this steady climb during your time as a Mustang. So what are the team goals as a senior? And what are your goals as well?
A couple team goals, is obviously a state championship, but focusing on short-term goals, we want to get that conference championship. So that's a big goal of ours. It's been our goal since I was a freshman. We almost had it our sophomore year. Lost to Chatham, but really don't have any personal goals. I just want to win with my guys that I've been playing with since 6th grade. So that's all I can ask for right now.
Nice.
Mike, I'm going to come to you. Your defense, under 9 points per game. Why has the defense been so stingy, part 1 and part 2? Can you guys get even better defensively going forward? Oop, I don't hear.
Oh, we lost his sound. I don't know if we can hear you, Mike. Oh, we're going to try again. No, not. Can you?
No. We might have him come out and go back in.
Yeah, you want to leave, Mike, and then I'll let you back in. How's that? We'll go back to this.
We got a comment from John saying, "All hail King Feaster."
Yeah, we love that, John. Keep that up, baby.
And John saying, "We love Feaster." So,
but Mike, I don't know. I'm gonna remove you from the room, Mike, and then you want to click the link again, okay? So I'll just remove you here. Oh, there he goes. He's gone. Anthony, you're the only one who got it all going tonight on the technology end. I'm just kidding. So while we're waiting for Mike to come back, I'm going to go back to Coach. Is that good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, Coach. You actually alluded to this a little bit when you talked about the hot start you guys have gotten off to. Yep. I wanted you to tell us a little bit about the 2 seniors you have with you and their time in the program, but also elaborate on some of the other contributors so far this season.
I mean, there is an array of guys that are really contributing heavily throughout the program. Anthony, has been a superior player since he stepped on the field with us as a freshman and has been growing out as a player year after year. He puts in off-season work. He's a specimen of a player, the way he looks, the way he handles himself, the way he goes about his daily habits for football. He loves playing and has been an outstanding leader all the way through. I can't say enough good things about him. I don't know if you guys know, he committed to Lehigh, so that's an exciting time for him as well. So, we're excited about that. And Mike, when it comes to Mike is one of our guys that truly loves football and everything about it. He loves Montville football and really has come along this year. Real energetic guy, always bringing the fire. And he's been playing great defensively for us and is doing a heck of a job on the offensive side of the ball as well. Our quarterback, I can't ever not talk about him. He's been having a great year running the football as well as throwing. Mike Chulo has been doing a great job for us, just playing physical on that side of the ball, actually. And I'm really happy the way he's running it and controlling the team. Our line has really been something that's been a real standout for us as well. We have Gio Vecchione at center, Vin Hurley and Dom Kramer, both seniors at the guard spots, Brandon Kimmel, who's been a 3-year starter for us, Jake Montano, another senior. So you have a five senior linemen along with Sean Elsmore starting to work his way back into the mix. These are guys that are senior players that are leading the way. On both sides of the ball. Our defensive line has been dominating. They've been really getting after it. Dante Palladino Jr. and Anthony Agnoli, another junior that's on the line along with Elsmore and Kimball. So these guys have been doing an outstanding job. A couple linebackers, Carmelo Amoyo.
Coach, you almost said Carmelo Anthony, Coach.
I know. I don't know why I had to.
We're diehard Knick fans, so I'm paying attention to that.
I understand that. That's why I probably slipped, Coach. RJ Fardo, those guys are doing a great job. It's been, to be honest, it's been a lot of fun. A lot of good things have been happening for us. And to be honest, I talked to these guys about the process of what we're doing and just continuing to get better every day. And to be honest, coming into knowing that I was going to be on with you guys tonight, our practice today's practice was probably the best practice we've had all year. Could have been a little bit due to the weather, but they're also, going along with the process and getting better every time. So
that's
exciting.
Awesome. Coach, I love hearing you talk about your team. You can just tell like your passion in your voice and how you talk about your kids. So it's really nice to hear.
Appreciate it.
I wanted to test out Mike's audio. Mike, how are we doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, all right, we're in.
Perfect. All right, Kurt, you got a question for Mike,
All
right?
right, so Mike, defense. You guys are giving up under 9 points per game. 2-part question. Why is the defense so stingy now? And can this defense get even better going forward?
I feel like our energy in practice is a big reason why our defense plays the way it does. And the culture behind this whole team has just been like nothing I've seen in the last 4 years. Like we're all hanging out with each other every day, like mostly after practice. It's been great. And for getting better, I think we could always get better. There's always that SOS mentality for us, the swarm, offend, suffocate. So I think that if we can keep that going and keep it going into the playoffs, we have a real shot at winning everything.
I actually have a question for each of the players here. Mike, Anthony mentioned before that you guys, he's been playing with most of these seniors since 6th grade. Do you think that is adding to the team chemistry, both on and off the field?
Yeah, 100%. We've been playing with each other this whole class from 6th grade. I mean, I started a little bit earlier, but Feaster, he joined a little late, but it's been all of us since from 6th grade all the way up, and not a lot of us have quit. It's a class, I think, of 16 or 17, so that's a huge reason to do with it.
That's so great. A lot of teams go to like I went to a regional high school, so when you get to high school, you might not be playing together till you're freshmen. So that's great, and that so many of you had stuck through. On a similar note, Anthony, I wanted to follow up with you. You guys have all talked about the size of the senior class, the importance of the senior class. So what do you hope to kind of leave for, when you guys move on? Now you've had some players, juniors, sophomores below you. What do you hope that you leave with them that they continue to carry on in the Montville football program?
First off, probably leadership. And then second off, I would say just being a close-knit group, because all the seniors right now, we're all really close friends. We hang out outside of school. We do like team bonding activities on the weekends. We're always usually together. And on the field, you could just see how we play together. We play for each other. So just having that close friendship outside and on the field is always a good thing that we can leave for the junior class.
Nice.
Guys, I'm going to ask both of you. I'll start with who do you want me to start with, Jen? We'll start with Anthony.
Sure.
All right, we'll start with Anthony. You guys are in great shape, like we mentioned, number 1 seed. You know, you guys are doing, like you said, phenomenal. Now, you guys so far had a great career at Montville, right? But how nice would it be for you guys to close out your career with a real nice playoff run and, you know, maybe get that state championship this year?
It'd be like probably the best situation for us because, you know, we worked real hard this off season, working everything off for that state championship. So being able to actually get that with all the work we put in would be extremely rewarding.
And Mike, same question.
I feel that, like, as Ant said, every day from like 3 weeks out of the playoff loss, we were in the weight room every morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. So I feel like all we talked about in the weight room in those cold days was, if we're doing this, it's for a reason. We have to win a state championship, and that's the goal, and that's what I think we're going to do.
That's great. Coach, I got one last question for you. You know, you mentioned, like, you know, the importance, and they're reiterating it here as well. Like, you know, your season ended. These guys took over their leadership role, like, you know, December, January of their junior year. They were already thinking next season. I have like a 2-part question for you. The importance of that out of season, not just weight room, right? But I guess mostly weight room. And then even here you have a group of seniors that's been in your youth program. Like, what's the importance of, like, getting down to your youth program and, like, you know, getting them to know getting them to know your system, getting them to know, like, your players even? Like, how important is that as well?
We've developed a great relationship over the years with our youth program. The president of our youth program, Pete Matarazzo, has done a fantastic job just getting numbers of kids. But we have a good relationship all the time. I communicate with him a lot throughout the years. We still, you know, talk about a lot of different things in terms of how we could promote promote football in general, but then promote football, Montville football, throughout our community. And I think it's huge having these guys go through that program and come into the high school and then play for us. My assistant coach, Ian Schwindel, does a lot of work down with the youth program as well. He's an elementary phys ed teacher in town. He lives in town, and he's able to get down to the youth often and really tries to install our offense the best they can. He meets with a couple coaches here and there to try to get little things, part of our offense, working down below so they can bring it up top. So the connection between the youth and the high school has got to be there, I think, for you to have any type of success within the community, and then, you know, onto high school as well. So
Awesome.
All right, we got a quick couple. I got one rapid fire for you guys, and I know your answer, both of you guys' answer is going to be Coach DeBonta's number 1, so we're going to put that aside for this one. But guys, Jen, we'll start with Mike first. Give me an NFL head coach you would love to play for.
I think Kevin Stefanski. I think he's a really good coach, really young, and he really shows what bringing a team from the bottom to the top is.
Anthony, what about you?
I would say Dan Campbell. He's a risk taker, brought the Lions up from nothing, and they went to the NFC Championship last year, so he's able to put a good team together.
And Coach, I'm going to flip it for you. Give me one NFL player you would love to coach and why.
Well, I was going to tell you who I wanted to play for first.
Okay. Let's do that.
I'm playing for Sean McDermott and the Bills, baby. Come on, that man runs a great show over there. Love his style, love his wrestling mentality. Love that all about him. So I would play for him there.
Okay, how about a player you'd love to coach?
Who do you think? Come on, I'll give it right back at you. Josh Allen. Who doesn't want to coach him?
Yeah.
Bills Mafia all the way.
He is he's a leader on the field, a strong guy, strong-hearted guy. And he gets the team rallying behind him. And I love the way he does his stuff. So
I got to say, this chat loves these two guys though on the show, man. They're all over this chat's all over these guys.
Oh, too funny. Coach Devonta, Anthony, Mike, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your great start to the season. We wish you nothing but success and hope that the goals that you guys are shooting for really do come to fruition.
And we have a
this
feeling
season.
we'll be talking to you again live
yeah.
come playoff
I
time.
hope so.
I'll
We
tell
hope
you
so.
that.
We'd love to have you back, Coach.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a
Thank
good night.
you.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right, so Montville football, and again, off to a hot start. And again, hey, they got big goals. Now seated again. It's early,
Mm-hmm.
but you're seated now in that one spot. And you're in a great position to win every week. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the more home games you can get, you know what I'm saying? That's a huge,
100%
huge advantage.
Absolutely.
Your fans, your building.
But we've noticed, I feel like, and you and I have talked about this before, we've noticed, like a lot of the teams that we have had on, have like that senior heavy, leadership. And like, when you have that, it's part of that recipe, I feel like, for success. So,
Yep.
And it's showing here, and I wish them continued success as they go on.
And listen, and they're there every year, right?
Mhm.
They're there every year. And just like you said, it's, hey, sometimes you have to go through the pain, right? To get to that
Mhm.
success on all levels.
Yeah.
Whether it's pros and college, you got to get that heartbreak loss. And now, boom, now I learned from it. You know what I'm saying? Get better. And then, hey, when you're older, you guys make it, you guys get it done. But hey, no, a great season so far, and a lot more for them to do this year.
I think it was, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Coach Bear when we had Ramsey on, was it last week, who was saying he felt like his seniors could run his team. Like
Yes.
he didn't have to be the one to hold kids accountable for certain things. And when you've had those players who've gone through your program for those 4 years, like those are the types of things that they do and then pass down, so again, that senior leadership, so important and great to have, for sure.
Let's get Jack, if you're with us back there, Jack. What was your thoughts on the Montville, on the kid, kids and Coach Devonta we spoke with?
I thought it was great kids. They definitely, they definitely play like a team, that's for sure. The team bonding seems, they seem to have a great bond there as a team. That's one of the reasons why they're playing so well. And it says something about the culture that coach has put into that program. Kind of similar to what Coach Johnson has done here at St. Mary's. That's definitely something that Eli and I notice, even though we don't play. We notice it every week. Yeah, that's just such an important part of building a team is, bonding, talent's one thing, but as the volleyball coach at my school says, one of my favorite teachers, talent doesn't always win. Sometimes it's really about that team bonding, and chemistry is definitely sometimes more important than talent itself.
Yeah,
you know what? Jack
100%.
makes a great point, because when we asked the question, he said, I don't really have individual goals. I just want to win with my buddies, my friends. I played football, since 6th grade. And when you have that mentality and you sacrifice, it's not about the stats and it's about me. It's about we, that goes a long, long way.
You know what? I'm going to mention, Jack, you mentioned, of course, St. Mary's, where, you attend school and cover the football team on your live broadcast. But, I texted, we were looking for some stats. We were trying to get like a specific stat. And I happened to have, from having somebody on the show, somebody's number. So I just shot him a quick text. And you know what? He didn't know his stats.
Yep.
And you know what? I thought that was great, because he didn't even care about his stats. He's probably a stat leader, but I think like those are the types of players, when you have that unselfishness and it's the team before me, those are the teams again that,
That's a great point, Jen. I totally agree.
Yeah. So it was kind of, I remember saying to him, like, I love that he didn't know, Yeah. I mean, I wish he did, because I want to make sure I got them right, but I love that the unselfishness was apparent. So yeah.
Can I give you a couple quick hitters?
Sure, from North Jersey Week 3 action.
Yeah,
sure.
like Week 3, just whether
General.
it's quick hitters or a couple questions. All right. Number 1, team near and dear to my heart, Ramapo goes to 0-3.
Yep.
Are they in trouble?
I mean, I'm just taking a look at our next, because the road isn't getting any easier.
Right.
Who do they have? Montclair this week, I want to say. Trouble? I don't know about trouble. The thing is that, you have this level that you're expected, right, to achieve. So I feel like, even though they're playing this tough competition, they're used to it. Just it's
Yep.
a road not really traveled by them to maybe start off 0-3 and be looking at 0-4, so I think they're going to be fine. I think that there's been a change and they need time to adjust, right? What players have they lost? So in trouble, I'm not going to use that term, no, but I think they're navigating uncharted territory for that program right now. So but I'm confident that they will get through it.
Great point. Another team, actually a team that has a huge history with Ramapo, will be playing Ramapo this year, Northern Highlands. 3 in a row after they lost, unexpectedly lost week 0. Coach Cord got them back on track, 3 wins in a row, impressively each week.
Yep.
2 big injuries last week, especially to the quarterback. Now, status unknown going forward. How important is it? Okay, now you're talking about, high school. Right? You look at NFL and you're like, you can't even find 32 starters, let alone backups. Right.
Okay.
College. Okay. There's not, unless you're Arch Manning, there's not really many backups that you could go and say, hey, I should, but again, unless you're talking about the top programs. High school. How important is it? Again, you're not practicing, 6 hours a day. You're giving days off. You're having walkthroughs. So your backup quarterback isn't going to get a lot of reps.
Right. Okay.
How important is it, though, to have somebody ready? Because something like this happens, you just can't throw away a championship season.
Well, I mean, you're a coach. What coach isn't worried about that in the back of their head with any of their players, right? Like, and having and what does everybody say? I got to stay healthy. If I can stay healthy, nobody wants it to happen, but every coach is, prepared, I'm sure, to do the best they can when they're faced with that, adversity. I'm sure they have a plan, whether it be a legit backup quarterback, maybe the quarterback who's slated to start, in the following season. Maybe it's just your top running back that you're going to pitch. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the,
it could though too. It could change your philosophy too, right? So it could kind of be like, okay, hey, we're explosive. I have the senior quarterback, one of the best in North Jersey. Hey, we're gonna sling it around, whatever. Now you might have a younger kid. You might have to say, hey, I gotta scale this offense back a little bit, be a little more conservative, a little more simple. Rely on the defense, rely on the running game. So again, there is a little change, but you know what? Hey, these kids got to be ready because listen, teams are going to be salivating and saying, hey, you know what? Now it's a backup court. This is our chance to get it. So just something else to look at.
And they have, I believe, Union City this week, right? It is home because that's a difficult place to play.
Oh, yeah.
But Coach Valdez, a phenomenal coach. So I'm sure that it's going to be a good one.
And one more, listen, it's called The Game, right? We're going to pick it. It's going to be our last game we pick, but Don Bosco, Bergen Catholic, Saturday at Bergen Catholic. If you haven't been there, go to that game. If you've never seen it, please watch it. It's 2 programs. Listen, do they highly respect each other? Yes. Do they probably not like each other? Yes. I mean, that's sports, right?
Exactly.
That's sports. They want to, go at each other. You talk about players and head coaches and you're talking just about high school people who are going to be in New Jersey Sports Hall of Fame one day, or not even already there. Pros, college stars. Just what's your thoughts on just a rivalry like that?
Oh my gosh, it's what high school sports is all about. It's what sports is all about. But not everybody is necessarily going to play past the high school level, right? So that's what makes I can't remember which. This is why I love doing this show. We get on so many coaches and guests and players, and it was I think it was Coach Tuero maybe who was saying and I used to say this to my team all the time, especially to your seniors, this moment, this team, this moment in time is the only time you're going to have this group of individuals playing together. So yes, maybe you're lucky enough to play in a Bosco Bergen game once, twice, 3 times. But you know what? With that group, you only get to do it once. And there is no better feeling than putting on your uniform for your school, representing it, and playing against your biggest rival. We talk about our rivals pre-game still,
Exactly, yeah.
So, and we were not to the rivalry of a Bergen Bosco, so it's the best part of sports. No doubt about it. Yeah. What about you?
Listen, I mean, again, there's nothing like that. Obviously it's, hey, what's the date of Berg and Bosco, where who you circle it. There's no way you're going to say, I have to get these kids up for this week. I mean, they're going to be up for this week. I can tell you that right now.
Another
The
thing,
fans will be there.
just gonna say,
The students. It's
another thing we've noticed, right? Covering more games, going to more games is like those teams that have that, and most do. I would say like the student present, right? The student section, the school spirit going on, But we've, at some of these private schools, right, some of that brotherhood there is brings it even to that nth degree, so there's so many traditions and things and to see, so it's special for sure.
And you know what, too, obviously it's bragging rights, Jen, but it matters going forward too, right? I mean, you may have a student, that 7th grade student, an 8th grade student, that's
great
hey,
point.
and
Great point.
I mean, I understand winning is not everything in your decision, but listen, it does matter, right? It does matter.
It sets
So,
too, like, if you're a young, impressionable prospect for one of those schools, and you're at that game and you witness like the win, and you're like, you're young and impressionable, it's definitely going to play a part for sure, which is understandable. Definitely.
All right, so those are just my quick hitters for you.
All right, well, let's roll into
there's Kenny saying, I still look forward to Garfield, Lodi, and Ramapo, Wayne Hills every year.
It's
true. I mean,
exactly,
it's true.
Yep. Yeah. So let's quickly bring up, we have last week, I was remiss in getting the Pick'em standings ready. So I had double duty to do this week. So I have them ready to go. So let me bring those up really quickly. So far, we have Kurt is in the lead with 42 wins and 13 losses. I'm 2 behind him at 40 and 15. And Kenny is just 1 behind me, 3 behind Kurt. So it is close. Jack, I'm sure we're going to hear Kurt start to brag about being in first and how nobody.
Oh, I'm sure, Jen. I'm sure we will.
But it is a tight race and anything can happen for sure. So there is our Pick'em stand-in. So Mr. Valenti, I'll let you go.
Jack, go put that. Can you put that back real quick?
Yeah, always wants it back up.
Jack, you see where my name is?
Yes, you are in first place. 42.
Get used to that number next to that name.
But look, Jen's only 2 games behind you, though.
But get used to that number next to that name, Jack. There's Kenny saying Jen had double duty while Kurt slept on the couch.
It's pretty much how it went, actually.
Wait till we tell him during the NJIC show what happened last night. Jen can love that one. Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that one. Yeah, more. But you're pretty much, it's a foreshadowing of what you just said. But want to roll into our week?
Yeah, let's get some picks. Yep.
All right, I'm going to bring them up. Jack, you're going to start us off with Kenny's picks. Jack. So our first game is 3-1 Wayne Hills at 0-3 Caldwell.
We're starting off hot, Jen. Kenny's got the 0-3 Caldwell in this game, winning by 24-20. Bit of an upset, kicking it off. Just like last week, he had an upset to begin the picks.
I'm going to show Kurt my paper. Who do I have?
You have nobody.
I cannot decide who. I've been going back and forth on this game, because part of me wants to go with Kenny on this. Like Kurt was talking about Ramapo possibly going to 0-4. I can't see Caldwell going to 0-4. I don't know. I just can't imagine it. But Wayne Hills is playing well, but they're on the road getting an angry Caldwell team that wants to uphold their tradition. I'm going to go with Kenny. I'm going Caldwell on this one. Last minute decision, game time decision, Caldwell.
When was the last time Caldwell lost 4 games in a row? Who knows? But it's not going to be now. I'm with you guys too. I'm taking Caldwell.
All righty. Our next game is 3-1 Del Barton at 2-2 Seton Hall Prep.
All right. Speaking of Seton Hall Prep, I want to give another shout out. I know a ton of people. I feel like I give a weekly shout out to somebody new. Another good friend of mine, his name is Ross. He called the Seton Hall Prep DePaul game last week I forgot the name of the network, but I did forget. But he did a great job though, so I want to give a shout out to him too. I feel like I've been giving so many shout outs, but these kids all deserve it. They're all doing a great job.
I love that you guys have the opportunity to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so Kenny's gonna go with Del Barton here, 27-21 on the road.
I'm picking Del Barton as well.
I'm going Del Barton too. I think they're very balanced. I think they pull away late, so I will have Del Barton go to 4-1.
Alrighty, our next game for this week is 2-2 Memorial at 3-0 Fairlawn.
Before I make this pick, I forgot to say also for that game before, my other friend George is making his broadcasting debut for Seton Hall Prep for that game.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Good luck.
yeah, absolutely. So Memorial and Fairlawn, Kenny's going with Fairlawn here, 28-14.
I'm picking Fairlawn as well to remain undefeated. Kurt?
Hey, Mark Calderio, our good friend. He always says, where's Fairlawn? We had
Yeah.
Fairlawn on last year, but you know what? First time on our board this year. And you know what, Mark? This is for you. I'm taking Fairlawn to go 4-0.
Nice. All right, our next game is 3-1 Wayne Valley at 2-2 Hackensack.
Kenny's going with Hackensack here, another upset, 24-21.
Ooh, I have Wayne Valley in this one, improving to 4-1. Kurt?
Kenny said he thought you were going to say, people now from Memorial. You know people from all over, Jack. I'm going to go Wayne Valley. Coach Cutlar's over there. I think a close game, low defensive scoring game. I'm going to take Wayne Valley.
All right. Our next one is our guest this evening, 4-0 Montville, traveling to 0-4 Parsippany Hills.
I mean, after that interview, how can you not go with Montville in this game? Kenny's got Montville 35-14. I'll take Montville as well. Since they were on, I'll make a pick. Give me Montville here.
Love it. I'm going with Coach Devonta and his crew as well. Parsippany Hills had a stunning season last year behind, oh my goodness. Well, obviously Joey Cicatelli, Josh Smith filling in at quarterback, and
The running back,
oh
I
my
can't think of
goodness,
his name.
Tatus.
Yes,
Tatus, yeah. So they had a lot of losses there, and I think they're feeling that a little bit. But I still think Montville is going to be the stronger one.
Yeah, Montville's just so hot too right now. So I think they go. I think they roll. I think they go to 5-0.
All right, and our next matchup is 2-1 Union City at 3-1 Northern Highlands.
Oh, I'm sorry, I lost it on my phone. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Here it is, right here. It's Union City, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Kenny's got Northern Highlands here, 20-17.
You know what? We talked about potential injuries here. I still think Northern Highlands, they're on that upswing. They're home. I think, hopefully they're, you just never want to see kids have to miss any part of the season. So I hope the quarterback is doing well just for that reason alone. But if not, I think they make the necessary adjustments to win at home. I'm going Northern Highlands.
Yeah, this is a big game feel here, right? But again, the question is, what's the status with the quarterback situation at Northern Highlands? With or without, I think they score enough. But I think their defense wins it in a low-scoring battle at home. I'm going to take Highlands too, Jen.
Okay. Our next game is 2-2 Nutley at 3-1 West Essex.
Well, my friend from Nutley wasn't really happy with you guys all picking against Nutley last week, and they ended up winning.
They did.
But Kenny here is going with your hometown team, Jen, West Essex, 28-14.
All right. I'm picking West Essex as well. Yes, I'm a little bit of a homer, but I just think that they've got a little something extra over Nutley. I'm going to go West Essex.
Yeah, they're hot. They're rolling now. Week 0, tough loss, but you know what? Big wins, right? They got that payback to Caldwell, got them rolling. I think West Essex, Jen. I think your team goes 4 in a row, goes to 4-1.
All righty. Our next one is.
Oh wait, Kenny's saying not so fast. He picked Nutley last week, Jack.
Oh, so you picked Nutley, Kenny, but I don't think Kurt and Jen did. So
yeah, we did it.
We did it. I'm looking at it right now here. Let me just double check, make sure where that was.
Kenny did have Nutley.
No, I had him having. Oh yeah, he had Nutley. Yeah, he had Nutley. Sorry, I'm looking at Nutley. All right, this next game is the battle of the 2-1s. We got PV traveling to Milburn. PV as in Passaic Valley.
Passaic Valley gets the win here, according to Kenny, 31-21.
All right, I'm picking Passaic Valley as well. Kurt?
Me too. I think their defense will travel on the road. Nice little start by Milburn, but I think PV is going to be too much in that game.
Okay, our next one is 0-3 Ramapo at 2-2 Montclair. Jack, who does Kenny have?
What is going on with Ramapo this season? What's going on there at the top of New Jersey? But anyways, Kenny still believes in Ramapo. I think this is the 3rd week in a row. He's tried to believe in them, and he's got them winning 38-35 on the road.
You know what? I'm going with Montclair in this one. At home, it's going to be interesting how Ramapo kind of like reacts to their 0-3. If Ramapo wasn't on the road, I might be giving them the nod. But I think Montclair is looking to take advantage of that 0-3 record that Ramapo is sporting. And since they're home, I'm going with Montclair.
Yeah, a lot of close losses by Ramapo, though.
To
They're
good
in
teams.
to really,
Really
good
good
teams. They're
teams.
in it every week. And they get, but you know what? I'm with Kenny. They get their first W this week. I mean, this team is too talented, too prideful. Again, so is Montclair's a great program, but Ramapo is going to get it done. I think once Ramapo gets it done, they go on a nice little run. I'm going to go with Coach Gattuso to win number 1 in his career at Ramapo. So I'm going to take Ramapo.
Jack, that's a big game for me in the pick'em standings. I can gain a game on Kurt
Yes.
there. I know. I don't want to root against Ramapo. Thank you, Jack. All right.
Give me Montclair then, just for Jen.
Our next game is Coach Bear and the 3-1 Ramsey Rams traveling to 1-2 Pascack Hills.
That was something last week. Pequannock going into Ramsey and beating them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kenny thinks that Ramsey will bounce back here 21-10.
I agree. I have Ramsey on the bounce back as well. Kurt?
Angry Coach Bear, angry Ramsey Rams, and I think they bounce back in a big way. I think Ramsey big this week.
All right. Our next one is 2-2 St. Peter's Prep traveling to 3-1 St. Joe's of Montvale.
Kenny's got St. Joe's here 35-24 at home.
I'm going St. Joe's as well. We talk about this this section of the non-public all the time and how strong it is. St. Joe's arguably the second best team, right? Maybe just to Bergen Catholic. I think they get it done at home as well. I'm picking St. Joe's.
St. Joe's made a huge statement last week against Paramus Catholic. They make another one this week. And like you said, Jen, this team is a huge threat in Parochial A. Every week they're getting better, right? They lost again. Another team lost in their week 0 matchup out of state against a good Maryland team. Getting better. Again, Coach Hoffman, Coach Augie, state championships there. Watch this team. Just watch this team. So I say St. Joe's.
All righty. Our next game is it loading in there, is 4-0 DePaul at 2-1 Paramus Catholic. Jack, who's Kenny got for this one?
How about DePaul's starting quarterback, Derek Zammit, was sitting there with 17 D1 offers at the moment. Just found that out. That's pretty impressive.
Yes,
That's a great little tidbit. Thank you.
You're welcome. Kenny's got DePaul here on the road in a shootout. Crazy wild shootout. 37-22.
All right. I'm picking
32. I'm sorry. 37-32. I'm sorry.
I'm picking DePaul as well. We keep talking about Paramus Catholic and like their measuring sticks. This is another one for them.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm interested to see how they fare. They're home. They're coming off of a loss to St. Joe's last week. I think they put up a good showing. I do, but not only their quarterback, but their running back, right? DePaul, I think is a little too much. So I'm going DePaul.
RJ Calabro Sports is saying hello. What's going on?
Oh, thank you.
And there's our good friend Eddie Kashazak. Just got on. You sleeping on Pequannock? My son said this week. We have, but I'll tell you this: not anymore. We're not.
No,
Wait. I picked Pequannock though last week to win.
You did over Ramsey. Listen,
I did pick Pequannock, so I was right.
Is the real deal. Pequannock is going to be a major problem come state time because that team is physical. They could run the ball, and in bad weather and in cold weather, like that's what you need to do. And I'm telling you that team, to go what they did to St. Mary's is impressive, and then they go into Ramsey and do that to a physical Ramsey team. I mean, listen, they're legit, man.
Yeah,
they're a legit contender.
Yeah. It's interesting to see how things, play out as the season goes on. And they definitely have, raised our awareness on them for sure. Yeah.
There's Coach Bear. Yeah. I don't know if Coach Bear heard my comment. I said, angry Coach Bear this week, angry Ramsey Rams, and I picked them over Pascack Hills.
Who do you have in this one?
Listen, PC, like you said, coming off their first loss last week, a tough one against Joe's, and now they get DePaul, right? I mean, another team just loaded, like Jack was just saying, 17 offers for the quarterback. Maybe the best running back in the state, maybe one of the best combo receivers, 1-2 combination in the state. It's, listen, PC will move the ball, PC will score a little. It's just, I just think it's there. I think DePaul's going to be way too physical for them. I think they'll wear them down. Being at home will help, I think, PC, but I just think DePaul's too good. I'm going to take DePaul.
All right. Our next game is 4-0 Ridgewood at 4-0 PCTI. This just has the makings of, I feel like this is an all the time matchup that we see postseason.
All the time.
Right? Yeah.
All the time.
So I'm sure it's bad. It has the makings of a good game written all over it. Jack, want to start us off with Kenny's pick?
I sure will. Kenny, no surprise. He believes this is game of the week, and he's got the road team. Ridgewood wins 23-21.
Oh, a close one. I'm going PCTI in this one. Home, again, you start to get those. I mean, I don't want to not talk about the tradition of what they've done there, but it's a new group, it's a new year, but you get those 4 wins on your belt. You're playing on your home field. I'm going PCTI.
Yeah, Ridgewood has to be able to establish the run game in this game. They cannot get one-dimensional and throw the ball. That's not their game. PCTI will just eat that up if that's the case. So again, Ridgewood has to be able to establish to run the ball. But I think PCT, their defense is going to be up to the challenge. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. And I think PCT's defense wins this late at home. Again, always a close game. Like, Don't be surpris0 if it's, 6-0, 7-0 Ridgewood. It's going to be back and forth. I think low scoring, and I think PCT shuts Ridgewood's running game down, and they get the win.
Alrighty. And our last game for our North Jersey matchups is Don Bosco. We talked about it before. Bosco Bergen. 2-1 Don Bosco traveling to Bergen Catholic, playing host to 2-1 Don Bosco. Jack, who does Kenny have for this one?
Well, before I make the pick, we've got a comment from Kenny asking if both Ridgewood and PCTI are Group 5. I don't believe there are Group 5 schools in New Jersey. Right?
No, I think they are. I think they both are 5s. I'm pretty sure
so.
they both are Group 5s.
Yeah, for football.
For
right?
football.
Yeah.
So, I get. Yeah. Maybe for baseball, there's no group.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
It is a football specific grouping.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still in the baseball mind a little bit. My mistake.
It's okay.
Kenny has Bergen Catholic here at home, 35-21. This is the North Jersey heavyweight battle, not Public A heavyweight battle, I would say.
Oh, 100%.
There's our good friend Jay Cook saying, "Hey, Kurt and Hoops, what's up,
Hello,
Jay?"
Jay, thanks for watching and checking in.
And there's Kenny saying they may see each other in the state. Yeah, they probably will.
Exactly.
They always do. They'll find themselves.
Which is what's so crazy, right? Like you just can see them again later down the road. But so which. I'm going Bergen Catholic in this one as well. I feel like I say it every week until someone dethrones them and proves otherwise. I'm picking Bergen Catholic.
Yeah, Bosco likes to run the ball, Jen, but I think this week they're going to need Devin Sisler to make big plays through the air. I just think BC's defense is too good to just sit there and say, we're going to run the ball down your throat. They're going to have to make big plays. But Bergen's offense, Jen, it's rolling now. Put up 63 last week. Dominic Campanelli with that run game. And you got Quincy Porter and Anthony Perotti out there as the receivers. I can't see. I think it'll be close for a while. I just don't know if Bosco can hold up and score enough points. And then I just think, once you give that Bergen defense a lead, they'll feast on Bosco, and I'm going to take Bergen to win the game.
And there we have our week 4 picks. Anything else you want to add before we take a mini break and get ready for?
Yeah, we're not going to go on. We'll stay right here.
Yep, exactly. Don't go away.
Keith's saying Bergen.
Okay. Oh, and
Keith
I love
Brugman.
it. Keith hails from Montana, correct?
Yes.
Right. So I love that we have Keith has been educated in North Jersey football and is making picks. I love it. Thank you for checking in, Mr. Brugman, and thank you for your pick.
Yes. That's it, Jen. Some interesting games. Again, listen, now it's getting, the PowerPoint start coming out. So now it matters with wins and, again, how they're going to split the bracket, who's going to be, get the home games. I mean, that matters, that matters. So, hey, very excited. Some big games. Let me ask you this. Besides the Bergen Bosco one, give me a game that, on our docket that you're looking at, you're very interested in.
You know what? These are probably a little different. I'm gonna say I think Ridgewood PCTI is gonna be a good game, but the outcomes I'm gonna feel like I'm most interested in is the Caldwell and Ramapo games
Yeah.
because I'm really interested to see what happens because listen, here we could say their record and it's not indicative of their program, right? And
Right.
but I just am very interested to see how that pans out for both of those teams who are very unexpectedly winless so far this season.
There's Keith saying, can't wait for the weather games right around the corner. Who do you both like in a bad weather game?
Well, you were just mentioning,
Quantic.
yeah, how they because they can be physical and run the ball. So yeah, great point there.
Kenny saying, I'm looking forward to Wayne Hills and Caldwell and Ramapo.
Mhm.
Jen, we are thinking alike. I really want to see Ridgewood. If Ridgewood could go into that, listen, again, I think it's going to be a close game, but if Ridgewood could go into PCT in their building and beat that team, I think they are a legit state championship contender. I think they're legit, again, even if they were to lose this game in a close fashion and stuff like that, come playoff, they could still get them again. But you really want to set the tone and make a statement of, hey, we're a contender. You go into PCT, and I don't know the last time they lost a home game. You go in that building and you beat them. That's going to be impressive.
Yeah. So some good games. So there's our picks for week 4 action in North Jersey. Tune in next week to see where the pick'em standings, if anything changes, if anybody gains some ground. Don't go away. In about 5 minutes, we will be return with our NJIC football show, specific show, where we have a lot on the agenda as well. We're looking forward to welcoming the Becton, Rutherford, and Hasbrouck Heights coaches and a few of their players. We have division standings, we have stat leaders, picks.
Love everything.
A lot to go through in,
Guest picker.
in NJIC. Yeah, so please stay tuned. Don't go away, and thank you for watching.
And we are back on All In on NJIC football. Kurt Valenti, Jennifer Valenti, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Ready for round 2?
Ready for round 2. Mr. Jack Rizzo, are you ready for round 2?
I sure am, guys. Thank you for having me as always.
All right.
My
No.
pleasure.
Thank you for all your help. You've been great.
Oh, of course, no problem.
Want to send the shout out. We're missing Eli tonight, but he will be back next week with us.
Yeah, much deserved day off for Eli.
Absolutely. Hey, even like these baseball stars get a night off, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
give a night off.
And the NBA stars too.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Load management.
Load management. Yeah, there you go. So we got a big show tonight. Well, first, if you want to just talk about again sponsors.
Sure, we got a couple things. First, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors from Red's Restaurant and Beer Garden with 2 locations in both Carlstadt and Newark, and also the Roosevelt, which is in East Rutherford. So thank you to them, and 2 great places. We have been, and we're saying this in the first hour, right? We definitely have been patrons of Red's before, as has Jack. We discovered in while we were chatting before the show. And if you're looking for something with a little like speakeasy vibe, the Roosevelt in East Rutherford is definitely a place to check out. So thank you to them for their sponsorship. Before we begin, we also want to just give our well wishes to the player from Pal Park, Leonia, who was injured in this weekend's game. So sending positive thoughts their way and hopes for a speedy recovery.
Absolutely.
We have a packed agenda tonight as we continue our NJIC coverage. First, we're going to be joined by Becton. Then we'll be joined by members of the Rutherford program, and then Hasbrouck Heights. But stay tuned because we have division standings. We have players of the week. We have stat leaders for week 3, and then of course our picks for week 4. So we have a lot to get through tonight, and we're excited to do it.
Okay.
You want to start it off with Becton
Let's
right
bring 'em
away?
in.
Let's get them started. So let me get everybody in here. Give me a moment while I get everyone here. Let's start with Coach there. Hi, Coach. How you doing?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
What's
Good.
going on?
Thanks so much for joining us. And I hope I skipped over John there. Let me get everybody in. All right, guys. And hi, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Let me officially introduce everybody here. We are joined by Coach Jackie Marr. Coach, am I correct that this is your 10th year at the helm of Becton?
Yes.
10 years, right?
Full decade.
A full
Exactly.
exactly.
Decade this season.
There you go. Well, happy 10th anniversary. Head coach
Thank
since
you.
2015. His team is off to a 4-0 start in the Colonial Division of the NJIC. He is joined by his captains, senior Jonathan Palsy, junior Everett Bell, and senior Brandon Osorio. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hello. Thank you so much for having us.
All right. I think somebody might have gotten booted. Let me just see if I need to get them.
Well,
Yep,
first
John-
off, I got to
John
say
got
this.
in. There
Coach
he is.
Marr, that sweatshirt is sweet. And you know what? I don't have a Becton shirt,
Oh,
Coach.
my gosh.
Oh, we'll work on that.
Coach, I even have a Hasbrouck Heights shirt, and you know the history of me in Heights. I even got a
Yeah.
Heights shirt, Coach. We
Yeah.
got to get some Becton gear.
Coach,
No, I'm joking.
We'll work on that for sure.
All right,
It's a
thank you.
shameless plug for gear. I'm so sorry.
I would
I'm
rock
so
a
sorry.
Becton
I know
sweatshirt.
you
Come
would. I
on.
know, but the
Why
shameless
not?
plug. So, but why don't you start off?
All
with
right, Coach. In all seriousness, thank you guys for joining. We really do appreciate you guys are off to a great start. Coach, my first question is, we all know Becton can run the ball, right? You guys got a great run game, but in the past couple of weeks, a little empty set, slinging it around, throwing it around. How important is it for you guys going forward? Hopefully NJIC playoffs and then NJSIA state playoffs, the balance of your run pass game. How important is that for you guys to, get that going?
Yeah, it's been a really, I won't say a pleasant surprise. It's just been something that we've really been working on because, like you said, everybody does know we're able to run the ball. Everything starts up front. We have some dudes up front. They're all seniors. They work very well together within the run game, and they're able to pass that for us as well. So with having John really adjust to the passing game, it really opens things up for us where people can't just sit on the run anymore. When we just played Cresskill last week, we got off the bus, and John and I are walking down back to the locker room, and he was 9 of 15 for 258 and 2 touchdowns, and he's like, I'm like, decent day at the office for you, huh? 5 total touchdowns and 258 yards passing. He's like, Coach, he's like, I can throw now. I'm like, yeah, I know, I know. So it's a nice weapon to have. It's a nice option to have. So like you said, people are not. The kids sit on our run game.
Nice. I'm going to come to my question. My first question is going to be for Brandon. Brandon, as Kurt mentioned, right, you guys are like firing on all cylinders on offense. But let's not overlook what your team is doing defensively, right? In 4 games, you guys have held opponents to 14 total points, and you've recorded 3 shutouts. Can you tell us what drives this team defensively? Oh, Brandon, can you hear us, Brandon? Oh, he looks
Great.
like it looks like
frozen.
he's frozen.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'll
So you
skip.
know what?
I'll skip. I'll
Yeah,
come
all right,
back.
we'll
We'll
come
come
back
back.
to him maybe, and then if yeah. So we'll go on.
Couple comments from Nicole Leola saying hello. Chase Cohen and Jayla G.
On the
I'm going to go
defense,
to Everett on this. Everett, year in and year out, Becton is known to have a great defense, right? You're a middle linebacker on this team. This year's nothing different. Your defense has been phenomenal for the start. Why is there such a great tradition, and how awesome is it to be a middle linebacker at a great defensive traditional school like Becton?
I mean, we just have great defense coaches. Since a freshman, I've been coached up to do my job, do correctly, and do my part in my defense.
And did you want to come to John next?
Yeah, actually, we got a comment from
Okay.
Douglas Palsy saying go Becton. Diego Bravo saying Becton. John, I'm going to come to you. Thank you again for coming. Great job so far. I call you the Tim Tebow of the NJIC.
Should I fire up?
And I'm going to show. We're going to do. We got some video.
clips
We
tonight.
got some clips to show. Show the Becton
Which
clip,
one?
and
You
we're
want
gonna
the Becton
yeah.
clip
This
first?
is
All
new. This is new with the clips.
Coach, this is a courtesy of your drone. I'm sure you're going to appreciate that.
Yeah. So we're gonna see the Tim Tebow of the NJIC right here.
We'll talk about the drone guy if you like.
All right. So there's a little QB power, whatever you want to call it, ISO power, but walking in. So now let's go back to a little video we saw. Let's see the similarity of this, Jen. Bring this one up.
Wow, look at this.
That's
Wow.
Becton football right there. That's Becton football. I mean, so my question to John is, and listen, you're a tremendous player. I just say you're a football player. You could do it all, right? Roll it, run it. You could play defense. I guess my question is, what's your mentality? Because we know Coach has done it, right? You did it in Lyndhurst, and going forward, you might get 40 carries. You might have to throw it 20 times. You might have to play safety. So what is your mentality every week of, hey, whatever coach and this coaching staff needs of me, I got to do? What's that mentality like?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the mentality every week is just to get the win. You know, that's number one. You got to get out with the win. Feel like the stats will come with the win, obviously, and you know, if they ask me to throw the ball 20 times, I'll throw it. If they ask me to run it, I'll run it. You know, I trust them. So
how nice is it though now with the little balance? Like Coach was saying, you got this passing game rolling a little bit. How nice is that? And you know, hey, that's going to help you out in your running backs too, because teams now got to respect that more. They got to play. They can't just stack that box. And you know what? It helps your run game. How nice is that as a quarterback?
yeah, for sure. I definitely think the wide receivers play a immense role in that. I mean, those guys fly around the field. If you watch the film, you'll see it. And I feel like that's just going to open up a lot of new opportunities for me and Everett Bell and even Nico and all of the running backs in rotation.
All right, I was trying to get Brandon back in. I know he's trying hard to get connected there.
Couple comments real quick. Coach Longo saying drone guy checking in.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for the footage there, drone guy.
Get copyright. You okay with that? You checked in?
I will say Kurt asked permission.
I did. I got permission.
All right.
And but yeah, listen, did that look alike though? That play?
It
looked alike.
Uncanny,
It looked
uncanny
alike
for sure. Brandon, can you hear us okay? Oh, it looks like he might still be frozen on us. I don't want
Someone else can have to answer Brandon's question.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? We'll let me continue with Coach. I'm going to come back to you on this one. I have like kind of a 2-part question for you. You know, you open up with a win over Lyndhurst, arguably your toughest division opponent, right? How did that victory set the tone for you guys for the season? That's my first part.
It definitely did set the tone for us. And I know you guys had Lyndhurst on last week, and they had a different view of what happened, and that's fine. But you know, I feel we played very well. You know, we forced a lot of turnovers. We were able to kind of set the tone from the beginning of the game. We went right down the field and had the opportunity to score, but turned it over inside the 5. Sorry there, QB1. Raising his hands, okay. Accepts responsibility. But, they're a good team. They're a very well-coached team. Richie and I, we're friends. We still continue to talk even after that game. But, I guess you can say now, record-wise, we are the 2 best teams in our division. So setting the tone at the beginning of the season to get that victory really just has us on a roll, and it worked out pretty well.
Got an Anthony checking in. Got David Burns from Cedar Hill, Texas checking in. Aiden Parks checking in. Tyler Bell saying Everett Bell is a very good linebacker as well as running back.
All right. And my second question for you, Coach, is you're joined here tonight by your 3 captains. Can you elaborate on the leadership they have shown this year leading this squad?
Absolutely. Leadership should be all 3 of their middle names. I had my grandmother passed away 2 weeks ago, and I was out of practice for a couple of days. And besides my coaches, I know my coaches have everything in check, but I know that these 3 guys have everything in check too. We're in constant communication. We have our own separate group chat. If I need anything done or said or handed in or a message sent through school, it is through them, and everybody gets it. And there's no miscommunication, which really makes it a lot easier for me.
Coach, we got a question from David Burns. I think he's asking it this way: as a coach, what do you look for, in a player or as a team, when you're a coach? What kind of player do you want to coach?
Number one, I think, is just to be coachable. We look for kids with talent, obviously, to get them on the field. But if you don't have that great of a talent, that you're just coachable, you're listening to coaches. Sometimes coaches will get on you. Sometimes they'll pat you on the butt. Sometimes they'll scream in your face, and you got to be able to take it. So I think that's the biggest attribute of looking for coaching.
Nice. And I see we have Brandon in. Brandon, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, are you able to hear me?
Yeah,
all right, he's back.
Awesome. Well, I have a question. All right, welcome, Brandon. I have a question for you. I'm going to repeat it because I'm not sure how much you heard. But, at the beginning of the show, Kurt had mentioned to Coach how you guys are firing on all cylinders offensively. But I said, we can't really overlook the defense of your team, right? You guys have held opponents to 14 total points. You've recorded 3 shutouts. So I wanted to ask you, what is driving your team defensively?
All around, I think we have the guys. We have the D-line, linebackers, and secondary to push it in for us every time. And we're always looking to get the ball back in John's hands and back on offense to get score, And we work hard every day in practice. We always push each other. And, yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Did you want to roll into a quick, do you have your quick rapid for
I'm going to do the same one for this group. Guys, I asked this from our other show, but I'll start. Jen, you get the order.
Okay.
And again, Coach Marr, obviously I know Coach Marr should be your obvious answer, but we're going to go a little different route here. Okay. If you could play for an NFL coach, what NFL coach would you want to play for?
All right, I'll just call him out. Everett, I'm going to put you on the spot first.
I have no idea.
Say Coach Marr. Say Coach Marr.
I don't know. My favorite team is the Eagles, so I'll play for the Eagles.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. Perfect. How about you, John?
I'd play for Dan Campbell.
And
I feel like, he besides Coach Marr, of course.
Right.
Attaboy.
He would he wants to be out there just as much as his players. So yeah, Dan Campbell.
Nice. And how about you, Brandon?
I'd have to go with Sean McVay and the Rams.
Coach, how about a player you would love to coach?
Good question. I'm definitely a big quarterback guy, so I would probably like to take maybe a Josh Allen, 6'5", 2 whatever, he's a running threat, just kind of like John, and a passing threat too. Yeah.
Show the clip again. Show it. We're going to show this clip one more time. Yeah, show the Becton clip. Okay, so here we go. We'll show it again. Yeah, I'm fired up. So there's the Florida. There's Tebow. And now just look at the similarities of this. Boom. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, that's the second Josh Allen answer from the coach. Josh
Yeah.
Allen's 2 for 2 from the coaches tonight, coach.
That's
so.
a little Josh Allen package too. A little Josh
Yeah.
Allen, but that's the Tebow package. That's the Tebow package.
Coach, we want to thank you so much for coming on. Guys, thank you so much. Again, we know how busy you are. You're in the middle of your season. We really appreciate you taking the time, arguably late at night to come chat with us. We really appreciate it. Coach, Everett, John, Brandon, thank you, and good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having us.
And
We'll get
guys,
you
real
guys
quick,
for having me.
protective gear.
Awesome. The only thing we have not done, and twice we couldn't do it, is we got to do a live game day from
Yeah, we keep
Becton. We
saying
got to
that.
do it.
Yeah,
We got to get it.
Well, we have 2 home games left for sure. So
We'll
we're
make
at,
one of
we
them
had-
work.
yeah, we're off this week, and then we have Elmwood Park the following week.
Can I give a quick shout out?
Absolutely.
My whole entire O line. They do it all. Those guys are, they're the reason for this. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Very nice.
Well, John, what the quarterbacks usually do at the end of the year is they buy them Rolexes. So you better start working and taking care of that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, I gave them a shout out.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy your night. Thank you and good luck.
All right, guys. Thank
Good
you.
luck, guys.
Guys.
Coach Farina saying way to show love. What's going on, Coach
Very
Farina?
nice.
Yeah,
Again,
listen,
just,
Becton, hey, a great win. We were at that game. That was a great game versus
Mhm.
Lyndhurst. Now they're in driver's seat, right? They took care of Cresskill last week.
Yeah.
On the edge of getting to the NJIC playoffs, right? And then you're really gonna see, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, whatever 4 make it, you're gonna get a legit 4 in this bracket this year. That any one of those, that group is gonna be able to win this. So hey, Becton is close. Becton's close to getting there, Keep ahead off, enjoy the week off, right, Jen? Enjoy the week. Hey, so far they didn't take
Keep
the
the
week,
focus.
focus,
Keep the
and get
focus. Yeah,
and finish the job next week, and you get to the playoffs.
Yeah. 100%.
And there's a comment saying, I say Becton best defense in the NJIC.
Well, again, we talked about 3 shutouts, holding teams to they only have 14, points
Yep.
that they've let up. So definitely an argument for that for sure.
Joe Crafasi saying, good luck, Becton.
Thank you, everybody, for the comments. Keep them coming. for
Tyler
sure.
Bell saying Everett Bell's going to have a great year. He's having a great year so far.
Awesome.
And I'll tell you, that was just a great answer of how, like, when we asked him about defensively, and he was just like, how I'm like as a freshman, just how I got coached.
Mhm,
So when I have to step in there, when I need to be ready to go, when it's my time, I'm ready to go. And he's been ready from day one. Listen, he's a good offensive player too.
Mhm.
But on defense, he sets the tone on that defense. And I'm telling you, I've coached against that Becton defense, man. And just week in and week out, those kids are aggressive. Those kids make plays. It's just, it's something about that defense.
Well, our next guest, we have Coach Dunn and 2 of his players from Rutherford. So let me bring them in. And then, again, I will more officially introduce them. So let me get in Coach here. And then we have Chris and Lou as well. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
What's up, Coach? How are you?
Hi, guys. How are you? Chris and Lou, can you guys hear us okay?
Yeah, how's it going?
Awesome.
All right.
All right, we're all good. Let me officially introduce you, Coach Dunn. Coach Dunn is in his 5th year at the helm of the Rutherford program. His team is currently 2-1, competing in the Liberty division of the NJIC. He is joined by senior Chris Joya and senior Lou Morella. How did I do with the pronunciation, guys?
Great. Yeah.
Great. Awesome.
You did great. Great job. It's good to be on.
Thank you.
This
Thank
is like
you.
Rutherford night. We had Becton, we have Rutherford. I mean, it's just the whole, right area. Coach, thank you so much for coming on. Quick question for you. How did you guys refocus and bounce back with 2 nice big wins after an opening week loss?
Well, it's a real good question. There's a lot that goes into that answer. We have a young team this year, and we start a couple freshmen and a handful of sophomores. So, our goal is to get better every week that we get on the field. So, these guys will tell you we challenge these kids to get better week in and week out, and especially be a new team by week 4. So, we're on our way. And at the end of the day, we just have to continue to improve and got to lean on these seniors, 2 of them that you're looking at and a few more that are on the team. But, we found a way to improve.
Well, that's a great segue to my question. Lou, I'm going to ask you this one. After facing adversity in your opening contest, you guys shut out your next opponent, and then you had a lopsided victory in Game 3. So my question is, how do you guys plan to keep that momentum rolling this week against Glen Rock?
Waldwick first week was kind of reality check for us. We had a all right summer, but then we really bounced back in week 2. We started really getting together at practice. We started really flying around, putting stuff together. And I think those past 2 weeks have been a good test to really be competition against Glen Rock.
Nice.
Chris, awesome week last week. You had a huge game. Glen Rock, one of the hottest offenses in the NJIC right now. What's going to be one of the keys, would you say, defensively for you guys to slow them down this week?
Their quarterback's a very good player. They have a very good O-line. I'd say their skill is very decent also. They're going to be a very good matchup for us, I think. And we're just going to have to stop their quarterback runs, I think, and just them passing the ball a lot on us because their quarterback threw for 6 touchdowns, I'm pretty sure, a couple weeks ago. So we're going to have to step up on the secondary and get some pressure on them.
I have a question for both Chris and Lou. Lou, I'll let you go first on this one, and then Chris, you can kind of add your thoughts. You guys have accomplished a lot in your time as the Rutherford football program. Coach, correct me if I'm wrong. NJIC champs each year they've been part of the program. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Right, yeah. So this year, you guys are seniors. I'm looking back over your time as a Bulldog. What does it mean to you to play football for Rutherford? Lou, you want to start?
Our community we just have a great community. We have a great school. The guys that I've been with the past 4 years of my high school career have been like my family. They're just like my brothers. Chris is one of my best friends. Coach Dunn has taught me much more things just outside of football. Yeah, overall, it's just a great experience.
That's great. How about you, Chris?
And yeah, Lou said it best. It just didn't start at high school too. These coaches have been around our whole lives basically. Since RJF, small town, so we know a lot of the coaches from when we were younger, and just great programs in Rutherford, and just great people supporting us throughout the whole way.
I want to kind of go off script a little bit. Coach, we've had a little bit of a running theme, I feel like, tonight and even last week with that senior leadership. And here, you said it at the beginning of the show, here's 2 guys that you rely on, right? How important has their leadership been on the team this year?
Well, going back to who you just interviewed, that Becton quarterback impressed me. Answers about Dan Campbell, being one of the coach for, who I personally love, and giving a shout out to his O-line. Leadership is imperative, and you could see it when you talk to other kids or these 2 that we got in front of us. Especially like us, we have a younger team this year. We lost a ton from those last 3 years that you said that we had a really good run, but we lost a ton of talent, and it's on kids that have been through the ringer, if you will. And our senior group is people who we believe in, and you have to lean on them. And I think everyone looks up to them, even when they don't realize it. I've been trying to get that through their heads too. When they don't think anyone's watching, people are watching them. So and they continue to do the right things, even in those answers. I've been proud of these kids. So,
well, you know what? I was just going to follow, I'm proud of their answers. I feel like they're saying to you, Coach, even if you've taught them so much more than just a game of football, right? And I know we all want to win. We're all competitive, and we're putting in the time, and we want to win. But how proud does that make you to know that that's what they're leaving your program, feeling?
Well, that's the hope, right? The wins and losses, they come and go, but you're trying to build men, guys that are responsible for themselves and know how to work with other people. I could give you all the cliches, but trying to build better people, right, at the end of the day. So, I'm sure out of the kids that we coach, you're covering the NJIC right now, small football, which is unbelievably good. We do it the right way. I'm a big supporter of this conference, especially the way, you've been a lot of talk about the NJIC playoffs, but the teams at the bottom are playing the other teams that have struggled. And in the middle, you're getting playoff games right now, or at least at the end of the season. So we really do things the right way. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say almost nobody from this conference is going to be playing in the NFL. So, at the end of the day, we're trying to grow these kids into men. And, hearing things like that does mean a lot. That's your number one job as a coach. It really is.
It's funny. We're
Great
doing
point.
that. We're doing the like graphics for the show. And we're putting together division leaders and who's moved where. And we're like, this is so fun. Like we always say, like the way this conference does it, like is like no other. And it's just like every week, it's like to see, how important the games are and stuff. It's just it's been fun. Yeah.
And you know what? It just shows when you guys get to the state playoffs, like year in and year out, like how many teams are playing in, sectional finals or semifinals. It shows, it just shows what kind of group and what kind of teams are in this league.
I wish I have something inside that I set up the last 13 years since the conference got put together, 13 years of playoff football. It's unbelievable how good the NJIC's done. And whether it's a sectional final appearances or sectional championship, North championships, those games at the end of the season really get the teams ready that are going to make a push to try to get a sectional final. So,
Coach, I'm going to come back to you. You kind of mentioned it a little bit. Like you said, you're younger this year. Hey, you start off at Waldwick, but now you're 3 more weeks in, right? So you're on week 4. How much, and just offensively, I'm going to ask you, how much progress have you guys made offensively? And now is it more like, hey, these kids can handle more. I can install a little more. I'm going to expand the offense a little more. Is it like that? Like, has it been like that since the week 0 game versus Waldwick?
Well, I think we'll find out on Friday. We're playing a very good Glen Rock team. I mean, this is one of their really good ones. But to answer your question, there's 2 ways you could think about that. And we almost, I don't want to take a step back, but we didn't install more. And sometimes less is more. And we really kind of slowed everything down and went back to a little bit of basics. Like I don't know, you had Becton film up here. I got to start giving you Rutherford film.
Absolutely.
That was great.
Absolutely.
I could show you Chris Joya looking like Tim Tebow too.
Let's go. I want to see it. I want it. Please.
But sometimes less is more, and you want to get good at what you're doing, and you don't want to just throw everything at the kids. So we actually took a little bit of a step back, and we kind of simpled it down a little bit. Going week 2 and week 3. So we'll see how we progress this week.
I have another question for Chris and Lou, and I'm going to let you guys, maybe one of you, I'll have Chris, I'll take you on like the offensive side and Lou on the defensive side. I usually ask the coaches this question, but as the senior leaders and coaches saying you guys have a lot of youth on the team, who would you say are some of like your teammates who have really like stepped up since the season began to now and taken on like bigger roles? Chris, you want to give some offensive shout outs to your teammates?
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, on offense, a lot of great players have been coming up recently. We got a sophomore, Hank Schroeder, our wide receiver. He had a great game against Waldwick week 1. He's been a little quiet since, but once we start getting the ball, he's going to keep rolling. Freshman Quinn Weber, also another receiver. He had 2 touchdowns last week against North Arlington. He's going to be a great player, very tall player. And even on defense, he's great too. And even our young new line, we got Evan Diaz on the line, Troy Waddell, which transferred back from DePaul, great kid. And even my little brother, John Joya, playing fullback for us. He's a great player, high motor, works hard. And that's really it. I mean, Miles has been playing out of his mind, so just got to keep rolling.
Nice. And Lewis, how about defensively?
We've had a lot of players come up out of the blue and just really show out, like Miles Balchin at safety, Troy Waddell and Evan Diaz rotating in on the defensive line. Quinn Weber has been doing amazing at corner. We've had Leo Kim. He also did great at corner. We have another kid named Matthew Bonagora. He played really good against Waldwick and then got injured like almost halfway through the game, which is horrible. But we've had a lot of great players really show their true colors.
Nice. Very nice. You want to end with your rapid fire question?
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go. I guess I'm going to do the same one for them. The same one. Again, besides Coach Dunn. Chris, I'll start with you. Give me an NFL coach you would want to play for.
Definitely Brian Daboll, definitely.
You're a Giant fan, I
Love
see.
him, yeah. Big Giants fan, yeah.
Lou, what about you?
I'd say John Harbaugh.
Nice.
Coach, but any player you would want to coach, NFL player.
I was hoping you weren't going to ask me that. I barely watch the NFL. I'm so wrapped up watching these high school kids on film on Sundays. I don't watch it too much. If I had to say one answer,
you know what? I'm going to get Coach. I'm going to give Coach a different question. Okay, I'll give Coach a different question because he's all in on Sundays with his film. Give us a place to go eat in Rutherford. We live in Clifton. We need to go somewhere under the radar place. I'm sorry. Yeah, in Rutherford that not, that we might have never heard of. Give me a place where we can go.
There's a ton of good places on Park Ave. I mean, Paisanos is probably my favorite. I don't know if you've been there.
I've been there.
Nice.
You've never been
I have
there.
not
You've
yet.
never been there.
But there are tons of places. They're all nice little spots that if you were asking me for one, I'd say Paisanos, but you could really pick whatever you want. There's a nice little Mambo Tea House on there. There's some good spots there on Park Ave.
All right.
Coach, I got one more for Coach.
Sure.
Go ahead.
One more. And again, I know you've done it in the past and the way it is, but if the games came out to where it was, say, you guys in Lyndhurst, right? Or you in Becton, you in St. Mary's, like, right? The teams that are literally bordering you. Like, I think that's something that's awesome about the NJIC. Like, what's your thoughts on, like, I don't know if I want to use the word rivalry, but like your neighbor games, like what's your thoughts when you could have, hey, a Friday night game, either Lyndhurst at Rutherford, St. Mary's at Rutherford, Becton, one of those teams right there. What would that, like, how much would you like that?
Well, I like at Rutherford the best, but
yeah.
Local high school football is what makes it special. A lot of what we're doing in high school football, trying to play down to one state champion, and we're going to play down to see who's better between Westwood or Rumson Fairhaven. I mean, I was lucky enough. I've been a part of the coaching staff of Rutherford a long time. And, those teams that won sectional titles, they weren't true state champions, but none of those kids care.
Right.
Not one of them that they didn't have to go down to South Jersey and play. So to me, that's what makes high school football special. These local rivalries and the old Thanksgiving Day games we used to do. And in a lot of ways, we got away from it a little bit. But the NJIC is what's still special about high school football, in my opinion, that we're still getting these rivalries. And, I'd like to take a team like us and Becton. We haven't played each other since 2016, but at some point we're going to tango,
right.
If we're in the, even if we're not in the same division, we're going to get a crossover at some point.
Yep.
We have played Lyndhurst the last couple of years, at least last year. Like you could even take, and I'm sorry, Rich Torre, if you're listening, but in 2018, us and Lyndhurst played in the sectional final at Rutherford. Awesome. The place was packed.
Yep.
And we win a sectional final, and Kinnatini wins a sectional final against Newton way out in West Jersey.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, we're playing Kinnatini at MetLife. Those kids at Kinnatini didn't want to be there. We end up blowing them out that day. It wasn't because we were that much better than them. It's because those kids didn't really care. And it's almost like, what was the point of that? That's just my personal opinion on it. Like,
I agree.
Football local when it was special, and it still is a very special game. But that's, to me, what you just said that's what makes high school sports, high school football especially, so special. Lewis talked about the communities. We have a great community.
Yep.
And so do these other towns that you just talked about, the Bectons, the Lyndhurst, you name it. This little South Jersey area, South Bergen County area, has some really good communities and good people around the football programs.
And last one for Coach. I'm sorry. I'm interrupting real quick because you mentioned it. You think there's ever a chance we get the Thanksgiving games back or no?
No.
Okay. Just the way the schedule with the playoffs and all that.
Not that we're going back to a state champion. I would like it. You got, when you talk about these, Chris just mentioned how he's playing with his little brother. I mean, how special is that?
Right.
I don't know if he'll fully appreciate it right now, but one day he's going to look back in that and be like, this was the best experience of my life. I had my little brother running around with me, and his little brother's playing in the varsity level as a freshman. But, things like that. And what I think the Thanksgiving Day stuff was pretty cool, but we kind of lost that. But these local rivalries, we could still keep, and we still do in the NJIC in a lot of ways. Like I said, I defend every step I get. They do it the right way.
Yep. It's awesome.
Coach, Chris, Lou, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We say to all our guests, we know it's a little later hour. You guys have been practicing school. We really appreciate your time. Good luck the rest of the way, and definitely keep in touch, Coach.
Appreciate you, Kurt and Jen. Have a good one.
Thank you. Good night, guys.
Have a good one.
You got it.
Pleasure. Bye-bye. Good luck. Right there we have.
All right. Jen, you're talking about championship pedigree. These kids have won it the NJIC all 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, how, you know what I'm saying? You're talking about a program. And hey, listen, they went in, like Coach said, with a younger team and a huge bullseye on their chest, right? Like everyone wants Rutherford.
Yep.
And, and we said it, hey, tough opener. But I'm telling you, with that coaching staff and those kids and that winning, they just know how to win. It was just they're going to get better every week. And the more they get better, the more they get the experience, the more they get the confidence. I mean, they got that winning mentality. They know how to win. They're just going to be a problem going forward.
Yeah,
whether it's,
100%.
hey, this week, possibly in an NJIC playoff, in a state playoff, they're going to be a problem.
Yeah. Well, that division is still undetermined.
Yep.
There's a lot could happen there. So
Yep.
You never know. A lot to be played out. So our next guest is Coach Seri and a couple of his players from Hasbrouck Heights. So let me bring them in, and again, I will formally introduce them once we have them all in the studio here. So let me just say, hey, Coach, how you doing?
Great. How you doing?
Good.
What's up,
Thanks
Coach?
And Jake and Joe, can you guys hear us okay?
Yeah, I can.
Awesome.
What's up, guys?
All right, let me formally introduce you. We are joined by Coach Seri, his first year at Hasbrouck Heights football, the helm of the program. His team is currently 2-1, competing in the Meadowlands division of the NJIC, and he is joined by Jake Summers and Joe Russo. So thanks again, guys, for joining us.
Thank you guys for starting. Thank you guys for coming. Coach, I'll start with you. Tough loss opening week. You guys come back, 2 big wins. 2-part question. Number 1, Friday night at Heights, you get Butler. First off, how crazy is that place going to be? Because listen, games in Heights that's a different experience. And part 2, what's going to be key against this talented Butler team?
I'm hoping for a great atmosphere Friday night. I think we need everybody there and everybody to rally behind us. Butler's a great team. They're very well coached. They got a lot of experience, and they're rolling right now. I don't think they've given up many points, and they're scoring a ton. It's crazy. They have such great personnel on that team. They can pretty much do it all. They have the longer kids. They have tight ends. They have a big offensive line. They're really good on defense. It's going to be a challenge for us, but we're really looking forward to it.
And I'm going to come to you, Jake, for this one. As Kurt mentioned, you guys have been showing steady improvement on offense from game to game. What do you attribute this success to?
I'd say the success comes from the coaches, honestly. They really put in the time, perfect everything, and it really shows.
Nice.
Joe, I'm going to go to you. I think one of the keys to the game, obviously, is, run it versus them, right? Because you guys are a great running team. When you can run the ball, you guys are very hard to stop. And it gets to slow. And the second key, slow them down, right? So how important is it to win up front on Friday night?
I think it's very important. I think it's every week probably the biggest key to the game. I think that our line works very well together and works very well with our run game and executing every Friday and Saturday.
Coach Longo's checking in saying, what's up, Coach Seri? Good luck Friday night. I will see you there.
Coach, I'm gonna come back to you on this one. You and I chatted a little bit during preseason, right? And I had asked you to highlight some of the players who you thought during the preseason were kind of going to be standouts for you. And you had mentioned Oscar Solis, Joe Russo. They set a tone from a physical standpoint. You mentioned your quarterback, Danny Amendola. You said Jake, who's here tonight, is a key to your offense and plays many different positions, right? I just want to mention some of your other players, Mike Napolitano, Brady Shine, Nico Nipatella. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing names, right? But then you also said, and you mentioned Noel Cruz. You also mentioned some of your younger kids that were going to be fighting for some spots. So I just wanted to circle back with you. I know those names because I've been doing the stats every week, right? That those guys are standouts for you. Would you just elaborate on what they've been doing for you and maybe some of the younger players that were vying for spots that did kind of earn those spots for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we're just trying to get as many people as we can involved, on a week-to-week basis. We don't have crazy numbers, but that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a little bit out of everybody right now, and if it means playing some of the younger guys and getting them experience, that's what we're doing. So we're getting a lot of guys ready up front. We're a little banged up front, and just pretty much across the board. So some of those younger guys, freshmen, we got 2 freshmen that are playing right now. Is Nick Haynes is playing on offense, and Mikey Collinari is playing on defense. Those guys are getting valuable playing experience right now, and it's gonna show. like I say, I think we're getting better and better and better. And once our freshmen and sophomores get up to speed by the middle and that third and fourth part of the season, I think that they're gonna be playing like sophomores and juniors rather than freshmen and sophomores. And I think that's gonna help us out. We're gonna benefit from that at some point this year. We're just trying to get everybody up to speed, and we're getting a lot of guys reps in practice, and those guys have to learn how to practice too. So that's a whole part of the process. Once we can start practicing like a championship football team, we'll start acting like a championship football team on the field.
That's such a great point, Coach.
Yep.
It's something that, when you have a lot of youth on your team, you don't really, you have a kid who was in 8th grade last year, so like you're saying, that's a huge, mental shift to like come to practice every day, ready to practice in the way that, you're saying like just a varsity athlete should be practicing. That's such a great point. Joe and Jake, I'm going to come back to you on this. You guys are seniors. So I want to ask you, you have a unique perspective, right? Like it's your last season. So, I'm going to come to you, Joe, first. I'm going to ask, like, what are you hoping with those younger players that you kind of instill in them so that when you graduate, that you can come back and see them doing, like, carrying on in the Hasbrouck Heights program?
So I really, especially on the defensive side of the ball, I really like to instill during practice, like keep energy up and being really laser focused throughout the practice, even in tedious times when you don't necessarily want to, is when you kind of lock in as a team and you get things done. And I think that is some of the biggest things that these younger guys can take from me and Jake and all the seniors.
That's awesome. And Jake, for you, what are you hoping in your senior year? Like, what are you guys hoping to accomplish?
Hoping to get a state championship.
The ultimate goal, of course, definitely.
Yeah. I want to come back to both Jake and Joe real quick. I always say this about Jen, and we talk about Hasbrouck Heights football and stuff like that, and from the junior program on and from years. I mean, it's just that program is just year in, year out. You got tough kids, athletic kids. I mean, those kids just know how to win, right? So I guess to ask you guys have done it from when you're little and now you guys are seniors. 2-part question. Like, one, what does it mean to be when you say I play football for Hasbrouck Heights? And let's start with that one. What does it mean for you like to be a Hasbrouck Heights football player?
Jake, why don't you take that one first?
I'd say it means a lot, man. You gotta be a tough physical person. Really gotta push through a lot of stuff. There's not many kids on the team. You gotta be well-rounded.
You want Joe to answer this one?
Well,
Joe?
actually, Joe, we got a comment first from a Mohammed Ahad saying, "Tell Joe Russo I'll cook him one-on-one."
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but
well, what's your comments on that one, Joe?
So I just think the first thing that comes to my mind when we talk about Heights football, and the coaches obviously they talk about that a lot, being what it means to be a Heights football player. I'd say being gritty and being ready to next man up type of mentality, that when someone goes down, the next man's up, and we kind of work as a unit together. I think that's what Heights football really, really means.
Nice.
And Coach, I got one more last year again. I brought the same kind of question, and obviously every game matters, but is like this Friday night a game like when you get Butler in your building? Is that like one of the reasons where you're like, oh my God, like I'm so like that's why like I wanted this job? Is that like is that what you were looking forward to? Like, where you're gonna have again every game, but like especially this Friday night?
Yeah, you don't have to get me excited for Friday nights. Like anybody that shows up in that building is good enough for me. But I love a challenge, and I think Butler presents right now our greatest challenge, and we're gonna see how much better we've gotten in 3 weeks. I'm gonna be honest. We have to play a near perfect game, and I think our kids know that, and I think they're embracing that. The way we're practicing this week, we had a great practice today, and I think they're understanding that a little bit. They're understanding the urgency that it's going to take to to win Friday night. It's gonna take a great effort. It's gonna take a well-rounded effort. We're gonna have to take care of the football. We're gonna have to play great situational football. At the end of the day, like all I could ask for is that we make them earn everything. And if we can just run to the football and tackle and just play hard, I think that, things kind of take care of themselves.
Awesome. Coach Jake, Joe, thank you so much for joining us. I said it to all our guests that we truly appreciate your time. We know how busy you are. You're probably tired, schoolwork, practice. You have a big game coming up. We really appreciate you being on, and it's been a pleasure to have you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good luck Friday night, Coach.
Good luck. And
And guys,
this
good
season.
luck.
We'll definitely
Thanks,
be in
guys.
touch, Coach. Thank
you.
you. Good night, guys.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, so Hasbrouck Heights football, hey, started off with a loss, come back 2 in a row. And again, we know this program, right, Jen? I mean, we say it year in, year out. This program knows how to win.
Mm-hmm.
They will be there. Those kids expect to win. And Friday night, like I'm telling you, we went to a game, right?
Mhm.
We went
We
to
did.
St. Mary's
Yep.
Heights.
Yep.
There's nothing like it, man. And I remember coaching there, and it's like, I tell you, that place gets crowded. That place gets loud, and it's a lot of, listen, you have a lot of you want to quiet the crowd as a road crowd, but as a home, when you have that whole school behind you and they're going to be there Friday night, I mean, it's, it's tough to play in that building, and a lot of crazy stuff happens in that building. I can tell you that. A lot of crazy stuff happens.
Well, thank you to Coach Seri and Jake and Joe for joining us. Let's move on to some division standings. We'll take a look at the 4 divisions here. So let me bring that up. We have in the, you know what? Hang on. I skipped a division. Hang on. Let me go back. In the Colonial division here, we still have Becton sitting at the top of the league, undefeated. Lyndhurst second at 3-1. There's a little shift there. Cresskill had been up, but with Becton's been over Cresskill.
And again,
right?
Jen, this is with that head-to-head versus Lyndhurst. I mean, this is Becton's division to take,
Mhm.
right? Take care of your business. You're going to get into the NJIC playoffs.
Yep.
And you know what, though? A nice little game. Lyndhurst Cresskill this week. Listen, we got a couple of nice little games, but hey, for second place in that division. And but hey, Becton, if they hold, they're going to get through.
Again, master
They're
of
going to
their
get through.
destiny, right? Yep, one away from a part of it. Then we have this is where things can get interesting
Very
in the Liberty
interesting.
division. We got a huge game this week where Rutherford at Glen Rock, and here you can see we've got those 2 at the top of the Liberty division.
Yep.
With crazy stuff at Waldwick's already beaten Rutherford. Rutherford Glen Rock then beat Waldwick, right? So this,
Yep.
it's
Listen,
got a lot of
again,
implications.
listen, hey, if and again, Pompton's probably, Pompton's pulling for Rutherford, right? Because Glen Rock already beat Pompton. So if Glen Rock wins, they'll have the tiebreaker over Pompton if they were to lose. So again, if Glen Rock wins, they're probably going to go. But if Rutherford wins, Jen, we're going to pick that as our, big game this week, as our final game. I mean, now you're talking chaos, right? You'll be having 3 games,
this
so
is really wide
and again, if you could say to Rutherford, hey, after that performance at Waldwick, but you're still going to have a shot, right? You're still going to have a chance. Those kids would be salivating, saying, give me one more chance to get into this thing. And they're going to have it Friday night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. And in the Meadowlands division, 2 undefeated sitting at the top here, right? Butler at 3-0, New Milford at 3-0. So again, no clear, decisive winner just yet. This week, I'm just looking at my games this week. Why can't I find, Butler's playing Hasbrouck Heights,
right?
And New Milford is playing
and again,
Salabrook.
it's hey, okay, well, Butler, New Milford next week, but don't look ahead, because I'm telling you, Heights is going to come to play on Friday night. Heights will 100% come to play, and if Heights can get that win, now they're going to put themselves in. Again, it's where. Again, a lot's going to change this week, because if Heights wins, they're still in it. If it is Butler and New Milford, they both win. They'll play next week for that division title. So this obviously is going to get decided soon. But Heights, I think, is still going to have a big say of this on Friday night.
On Friday, exactly. And then we have in the
Yes.
division, Jack,
There's
finally.
Jack.
St. Mary's, Jack, on the top of the Patriots division, right at 2-0.
That's right. Yeah.
So what he's been waiting for. So again, also, St. Mary's this week takes on Bogota. So again, if they can manage to stay undefeated as well, like we keep saying, again,
Yeah, I mean,
again, masters of their own destiny.
Again,
here,
just like
everyone.
I think the two teams in the driver's seat obviously are Becton and St. Mary's. St.
Mhm.
Mary's, I mean, already has beat Park Ridge, beat Woodridge. If they take care of Bogota and Wallington, but they also beat Weehawken. They take care of their next two wins, Bogota and Wallington, they will be going to the NJIC playoffs for the first time. So again, a team that's very in control and very hot right now. Again, speaking with Coach Johnson, he's, hey, not looking ahead. We're not, game by game, but they get done, that's St. Mary's division to win.
All right. The next thing we are going to take a peek.
There's Dale Sipp is coming at you, Jen.
Uh-oh.
May I suggest you use a bolder sans serif font for your league?
Oh, all right. I will
Get
take
on
that
her, Dale.
suggestion. He gave a nice
Yeah, I
suggestion.
know,
And you
I'm
have to make
saying.
it sound like it was a negative.
No, it's not
I
a
appreciate the
negative.
feedback, and you know what? I want our viewers to be able to read it, so I will definitely try to make something a little clearer for
Good,
the
that's
future.
all.
So thank you. All right, let's take
See,
a look.
I don't
at-
even have to critique you tonight. I'm never going to critique you tonight.
I'm just going to ignore your comments.
There you go.
So we're going to go to our stat leaders for the week. And I want to say that we try to keep on top of the stats, right? We check them. Sometimes they come in maybe a little bit later. We've already done our standing. So here, I feel like I did miss two Hasbrouck Heights players that were on tackle leaders there. I wrote down their names. I wanted to make sure that I gave them.
Let me get a
shout
comment
out
real
here.
quick from Paul saying, let's go SM. I remember when Mike Garcia stuffed DeFranco at the goal line back in 01-02. I'm a graduate of the 04 team.
Oh, love it. Thank you for tuning in there. We have Harris Kromenhock and Brady Shine had 14 and 12 tackles respectively. So we have our tackle leaders for the week here. A couple kids from Wallington on the board. Matthew Hernandez with 12. Jason Milan with 11. A little lower on the board, another two kids with 10. Nick Sinclair and Victor Nazario. We also have checking in from Bogota, Matt Harris with 10 tackles, Nicholas Mabel from Woodridge with 10, and then we had two sacks by another Waldwick player, Brian Rock. I don't think I missed anybody there on those defensive stats. Let's get into our touchdown leaders for the week. We had Chris Joya, who joined us tonight with 4 touchdowns last week. PJ Coffey from, oh my goodness, I always make a mistake here. I forgot to change the things up top there. It says Butler, but I have the correct thing. Just too much for me to do on all of these little graphics. I apologize. PJ Coffey from Park Ridge, Louis Placido with 3 touchdowns, and then we had a couple people who had more with 3. Jonathan Palsy, who we had on this evening as well, with 3, and Jake Summers. A lot of our guests tonight making it onto the leaderboards here. Jake Summers with 3 touchdowns this week as well.
Well, you know what? I just want to know this. Coach Dunn said he's going to send us some film, so I want to make sure we get some film this weekend. I want, because we'll dissect that up next week too.
100%.
There's Mr. Beelan saying he loves seeing tackles, but when you see it a lot from the same team, doesn't mean it's good. Too much time on the field.
I can attest to that. As a Colts fan, we've got our 2 safeties leading league in tackles because of how bad our run defense is. So that's definitely a great point that he made.
Right, we want to give those kids.
Well, you know what? Hey,
credit that
a lot
they're
those
due.
kids
Yep,
though. You know what? To
exactly.
make that amount of tackles,
exactly right. So they're on the field. So
Yes.
it's their
Absolutely. It's a great point.
Recognize their stats. So we have our rushing leaders: Nasir Owens with 178 yards rushing. Our 2 Hasbrouck Heights kids, Michael Napolitano and Jake Summers, 141 and 139 respectively. And then we also had Chris Rios from Woodridge checking in at 137. Patrick Randolph, freshman from Park Ridge, with 135, and then Jonathan Palsy and Ryan Natoli from Becton and Waldwick with 102 each. So there's some of our stat leaders there. Before we get into the players of the week, Kurt, we did a little something different this week, right? We
had so many chances. I mean,
you know what? Again, our passion for doing this show is like really highlighting the kids and their hard work and, what they're getting done on the field. And there are just so many impressive performances. So we wanted to make sure to highlight those. So we have 2 players and then we have a bunch of dynamic duos, we call them, right? So let's pull up that right now. We did it a little bit differently. So I just wanted to make sure. Oh, let me go backwards here and get back to the beginning here. Ryan Fleming from Waldwick, one of our first players of the week, with 199 yards receiving on 10 receptions, scoring 1 touchdown. I know you're a fan of what Mr. Fleming
Absolutely.
does.
Can
for
do it all.
Waldwick.
Can do it all.
Yep. John Iachetti from Glen checking in with 122 receiving yards on 8 receptions for a touchdown as well. Now we're going to get into our dynamic duos. If you want to add anything, please let me know. We got Jake Summers and Michael Napolitano from Hasbrouck Heights, each with Michael with 145 yards rushing and Jake with 139 yards rushing. Michael had 2 touchdowns and Jake 3.
Yeah, listen, they ran for, what was it, 384 last week. 384. I
Between
mean,
the
this
two,
team,
yep.
you know, they're going to come at you in waves to get these 2 kids the ball, and it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be fascinating because, again, not only like they have to establish the run for themselves, but like Coach Surrey was saying, Butler is very good offensively. So the more you can run, you keep your defense off the field, you keep their offense off the field. So it's going to be very important. But this combination, one of the best in the league.
All right, our next dynamic duo is from Butler. We have David Smith and PJ Coffey. David Smith is 9 for 10 on his passing for 186 passing yards, throwing for 3 touchdowns. PJ Coffey was the recipient a lot of those with 128 receiving yards for 3 touchdowns and getting it done defensively with 2 tackles.
Yeah, just again, and like Coach Surrey said, this is going to be a nightmare for this team to stop. You know they're going to be able to run the ball. He says they got a great offensive line, but now they got the pass combination too with Coffey and Smith. So again, a great 1-2 punch in the pass game for
All
Butler.
right, our next dynamic duo is from Rutherford, another guest we had this evening. We have Chris Joya and Miles Balkin, 2 players that Coach was sure to highlight tonight. Miles Balkin at the quarterback position, 11 for 12 on his passing with 186 yards for 3 passing touchdowns. Chris Goya having 18 yards rushing, 57 yards receiving for 4 touchdowns and an interception.
Yeah, he does it all. Like they said, he could put him, obviously he was a quarterback. They could put him at quarterback. They could run it to him. You know, they could throw it. And now with Miles getting the experience there, not only they can do it on the ground, they could do it through the air. And listen, I'm very excited for this game versus Glenrock on Friday.
All right, our next dynamic duo is from New Milford. We've got Louis Placido and Jersey Ryan. I feel like we talked about this combination
every week.
Yeah, I was just going to say last
week.
week and the week before, right? So let me just give you some of their individual stats. Louis had 6 receptions for 132 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. And Jersey at the quarterback position, 12 for 16, 209 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns, of which I guess Louis was the recipient.
It's one of the best pass wide receiver combo in this league. Again, nobody, I don't think a lot of people didn't expect them to start 3-0. They win again. They take care of business. Saddlebrook 4-0. They're going to be playing for a league championship next week.
All right, and our next dynamic duo
Division championship,
is from Becton. We have Jonathan Palsy, and this week his dynamic duo partner is Lucas Frank. The reason why we have Jonathan going, we talked about this tonight. We know, he's known for his rushing, right? Yeah, but 9 for 15 for 258 passing yards, right? He did rush for 102 yards. He threw 2 touchdowns, rushed for 3, and had 7 tackles, right? Lucas Frank was on his 9 hits, got 5 of them, right? For 147 yards.
I mean, what else can you say? Like, we all know Becton's going to run it and play defense, but now if they can get that passing game going and, the combination of Palsy and Frank, it's going to be a problem because, again, teams have to put 8 and 9 in the box to stop that powerful run game. And you're going to have opportunities one-on-one. You could spread them out and hit hit those big plays. Defenses now have to hope, okay, I got to play back. Now your running game's back. So, again, the more Becton can get more balanced, the more dangerous they're going to be. And they're dangerous in the first part, but even more dangerous. Beelan is saying Jen will get it down eventually. Still one of the best duo in the game.
Thank you. Again, so many little things to change. I'm mad at myself for that. Definitely mad at myself. But thank you for the comment.
Talking
John.
about Mr. Beelan, let's bring him in.
Well, before we do, we just want to make sure we put up I don't want to bring them in and make them have to suffer through our pick'em standings. So
there's Dale saying, Jen, your Player of the Week graphic is very good.
Oh, thank you very much.
That's all you. And where is he, Jack? Do you see it again, Jack?
Do I see what? Say one more time.
See my name and the number to the left.
Yes,
again, Jack?
you are 3 games ahead, Kurt. But Jen's only 3 games behind, though.
Thank
Is
you.
Kenny still in this conference?
I think I have to take over for him.
Well, you know what? I want to give
That
Kenny
starts
props.
tonight,
I want to
right?
give Kenny
It
props.
does start tonight.
You know why Kenny's got props? He's been the first picker since we've been doing the show.
To go.
He ran the table last week, 12-0.
Yeah.
So I want to give Kenny props. And what does Kenny do in Kenny fashion after he goes 12-0? Jack, he's gonna let you. He's gonna let you make the picks for him.
Yeah.
Going out on a high note.
I'm nervous to make the picks.
Coach Breslin is checking. He's saying, is he the guest picker this week? Mr. Beelan is the guest picker.
Yep.
So,
All
let's
right.
bring
So
him in.
let me get this graphic off of there. And before we do that, let's bring in Mr. Beelan. All righty. Hey there, Mr. Beelan. How
There he
are you?
is.
What's
Is that
going
a-
on?
Is that a Wayne Valley hat you're rocking?
Nah, Parsippany Vikings.
Oh, okay. Looks like a
Very
Wayne
nice.
Valley hat.
Nice. Well, how are you, Mr. Beelan? Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm good. I appreciate you guys. Good seeing you guys.
I can't wait. I don't know what's going to happen on this. We have a big audience. So don't do nothing bad. All right. Don't say anything bad. We have a nice audience tonight.
All right. Well, let's get the games up here. Let's get them up here and ready to go. You know what? I'm gonna let you start each one as our guest picker. Jack, you'll give your pick after that.
You know what?
and,
Hold on. Before we even get the picks, I got to stop you for a second because this is off-air conversation with Mr. Beelan. You know what he said to me? Basically, just be ready for a son in a couple of years.
Yeah, I
Just
know,
be
it's
ready to be
exciting.
covered. Am I right or wrong,
Yeah.
Mr. Beelan?
Yeah, man. He's I mean, Kurt, you know, I mean, yeah, me and you go back way back.
Yep.
But dude, Salvatore's a beast, man. He's crushing right now in football. Little flag division and stuff like that. We don't do tackle until 3rd grade, but next year, I mean, he's gonna be right up there, man.
We're
He's
excited to get him.
exciting.
He might be our first 3rd grader we have on the
I
show.
love seeing all the stuff on social media of him playing. It's so awesome. He wrestles too, right?
He wrestles. He's a national champion for wrestling. Football, he's been doing good. He's been hitting the gym with my wife. So
Awesome.
he's getting there, man. He's got it in his blood. So
That's awesome.
great.
That's
Very
awesome.
nice. All right, John, you're going to start us off on each one. Our first game is 1-3 Bogota at 3-1 St. Mary's.
yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Gales here. I mean, these guys. I've been hearing you guys week every week. Same thing with these guys. They can score points. They score points. They can. So this is no brainer. I don't even know if Bogota's even still on the map, but I'm going with St. Mary's on this one.
Jack, how about you?
Thank you, Mr. Beelan. I do agree with you here. Got to go with my Gales here at home, back home, first time in 3 weeks. Only their second home game this year. Yeah, the Gales score points. Bogota does not. It's quite that simple. Give me the Gales.
All right, I'm going to go St. Mary's as well. Kurt?
I'm just in St. Mary's is rolling right now. I mean, their offense looks unstoppable. Nazir Owens running it. Obviously they could throw it around with Higgins. I'm going to take St. Mary's at home also.
All right, and our next matchup is 1-3 Garfield at 2-1 Elmwood Park. John, you're a Garfield alum. What do you got here?
Garfield alum, love my guy Pete Santa Croce. Got my other guy across the border over there, Tom. I love Pete, but Tom's got a very good thing going on over there, man. So I'm gonna hit my boy Tom up with this one. I hate doing it to Petey, but Elmwood Park in this one.
How about you, Jack?
I'm going with Elmwood Park as well. I think at home against Garfield, I think they get to 3-1.
Paul is saying Mulligan, meaning Tommy Mulligan.
Yep. I'm picking our friend Mr. Mulligan as well in this one. Coach Dunn was on this evening and he was talking about we're talking about division standings, we're talking about the top teams, but you know what he mentioned as well, and I want to give a shout out to the teams especially the teams that came from the Union Division last year and are competing. Here's Tommy Mulligan taking his team to 2-1 in that division. I'm picking him to go 3-1 this week.
Well, you know what? Again, congratulations to Coach Santa Croce and just the whole Garfield athletic department getting the first win on their new field, right?
Yep.
New field that they've needed for, John, am I right or wrong? Decades.
Oh my God. I spent plenty of time in that center field, which was disgusting. It was hard. It was a terrible field. I wish I was playing on this new field, football or baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole
Kudos,
facility is beautiful.
kudos to them, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
They finally got it. And you know what? They got a good way. Talib McCullough, quarterback, had a big game, 2 touchdown passes, touchdown run. But Elmwood Park's very balanced. And you know what, John? Maybe you guys could both answer this. This is a rivalry game that hasn't happened in a long time, Garfield Elmwood Park. And you know what? Garfield's younger. So you know what? Like, not that they don't know the importance, but I think Elmwood Park's got a little more older kids that are like, hey, it's important. This is Garfield. We got to get this rivalry. So I'm going to go with the experience. I'm going to take Elmwood Park too.
Okay. All right. Our next game is 0-3 Secaucus at 0-3 Hawthorne. Someone is going to get their first win. John, who do you think it's going to be?
Yeah, this is a tough one. Listen, could somebody get a tie here? It's a possibility, but but no, I'm gonna go with Secaucus on this one. I've seen some clips of their games before, and they didn't really lose badly in like 2 of them. So I think they're just itching for a win, and I think Secaucus is gonna etch this one a little bit.
All right. How about you, Jack?
This is a tough one. I took me forever to pick a winner for this game. I know who's going to win, but I'm going to agree with you again, Mr. Beal, and I'm going to take Secaucus here on the road.
I'm actually going Hawthorne at home on this one. I agree with you guys as well. Kind of hard to determine who it's going to be. I kind of feel like Hawthorne has kind of been after last year's season, like that they're kind of just been waiting to get that first win. I think they do it at home this weekend.
Yeah, I was going to switch you too. And then at the last minute, remember, Jen, and then I said, I'm sticking with it.
I didn't know which game you were talking about.
Hawthorne has had an incredibly tough schedule. I mean, they played 3, playoff teams right out of the gate. Yeah. But I think they're a little more physical, John. I'm with you. I'm going to go Hawthorne on this one.
All right. Our next game is 1-2 Lodi at 0-4 Palisades Park, Leonia. John?
Oh, I hate doing this. Listen, this was the biggest rival when I was in Garfield. I don't even know if Palisades Park is really built for football, but I'm going with the Rams on this one. Orange and blue, and they're going to go 2-2 this week.
All right. How about you, Jack?
I'm also going with the Rams here in this one.
I have Lodi as well. John, was it hard for you to just pick Lodi there? Hard to do it.
Yeah, I've always had that I don't want to say the word hate, but I always had that in there with
animosity to them.
Yeah, animosity.
We were talking about rivalries earlier with the Bosco Bergen in our first hour, and it's just like it just becomes ingrained in you. I get it. Yeah, Kurt, who do you have?
First off, before we even pick this game, want to mention and hope all is well with the football player who got hurt at the Garfield game from Pal Park last week. So again, hope everything is well with him. But I think Shane Bell's the difference here. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go Lodi. Okay. I'm going to take Lodi. Go 2-2.
Okay. Our next game is 2-1 Cresskill at 2-1 Lyndhurst. Again, kind of tied in that division. John, who do you have here?
I'll make it short and sweet. I like Lyndhurst, and I'm going to stick with these guys. These kids are tough, fast. They got. I love their head coach. That's a coach that I would love to play for if I was a kid. So I'm gonna go with Lyndhurst.
How about you, Jack?
Yeah, I agree again. I'm going with Lyndhurst here at home.
I am too, and I agree with you, John. One of my top coaches I would have loved to have played for is Coach Tuero at Lyndhurst for sure. Yeah.
Cresskill with a tough loss to Becton, right? Becton beat him up. Lyndhurst had a bye. Lyndhurst now comes home. They're very tough to beat them at home. And I think maybe now they work. You see a couple new wrinkles, see new schemes, see new stuff out of Coach Ortieri in the offense, Coach Castagnetti in the defense. So I'm going to take Lyndhurst. I think their defense plays very well in this game. I'll take Lyndhurst too with you.
All right. Our next game is 2-2 Manchester at 2-1 Pompton Lakes.
So I'm going to keep it short and sweet again. Pompton Lakes on this one.
Jack.
Yeah, give me the Cardinals here at home.
All right, I have Pompton Lakes as well at home. Kurt?
I just think too much Johan, Fabian, and Vinny Stigliano on offense, and Anthony DiMartinez. I don't think you had him up there this week, but every week he's got like 10 tackles. Mm-hmm. So I just think too much. I think Pompton, Pompton wants a little chaos in that division too. They're still alive in that division.
100%. 100%. All right, our next one is 1-2 Saddlebrook at 3-0 New Milford. Mr. Beelan.
Yeah, New Milford. Listen, my buddy lives there. Great things going on in the town, just in sports in general, up in New Milford area. Good vibes in that town. I'm going with New Milford on this one.
Jack?
Yeah, when we think of the NJIC, we talk about Butler and St. Mary's and Rutherford. Let's start giving New Milford their flowers. They're a contender in this conference. Give me New Milford in this game at home.
All right, great point, Jack. We can't overlook them. And we talked about this in the past too. Like, sometimes you like to fly under the radar. I kind of feel like even though they're undefeated, I feel like they're flying under the radar. But you know what? I don't think that can continue. I don't think they're going to fly under the radar much more. I have them going to 4-0. How about you, Kurt?
I just think too much offense and a stingy little, everyone just talks about their offense, right, Beelan? But their defense is pretty good too in New Milford. And you know what? That's going to set up a huge one next week against Butler. I think they go to 4-0. And I think however it else pans out with the Heights Butler game, they're going to be playing for a league champion, a division championship next week.
All right. And then our next game is 0-3 North Arlington at 1-2 Waldwick.
Yeah, I'm again another short and sweet one. Waldwick, like nice blue chip town, card knocking kids up there. I'm gonna go with Waldwick with this one.
How about you, Jack?
Yeah, Waldwick can't play this poorly all season. I've got them winning this one. I would say pretty comfortably too at home.
Guys, I think Jack's got my picks.
Too funny. So, we talked about Waldwick in the opening win of the season with a really impressive victory, and then a little down these past 2 weeks coming off of that victory. But I think they get the ship righted and go to 2-2.
Yeah, I think this is a big bounce back week for Waldwick, and I think it's kind of like a save your season game. Hey, get those 2 games are done. It's over with. Listen, week 0, you watch them versus Rutherford. They look like one of the best teams in the league. 2 tough games, lose to Pompton, lose to Glen. But you know what? Get back on track now. This team's very talented. They could be dangerous later on. I think they win.
All right, our next matchup is 1-3 Wallington at 1-3 Weehawken. John?
Yeah, listen, my boy Alex Barchi, he's the AD over in Wallington. Great thing going on with the soccer teams over there and everything like that. I hate seeing these guys still lose, man. I feel like they're again, another town that's got really, really tough kids. They just never really connecting the dots, putting them together. And, Weehawken's always been, a really, really tough school and environment. So I'm Weehawken sneaking it by in this one.
All right, Jack, how about you?
Yeah, I saw Weehawken last week play St. Mary's. To be honest, I thought the offense showed some good things. It was the turnovers that killed them. They're not going to make the same mistakes here against Wallington. Give me Weehawken at home.
All right, I'm taking Weehawken at home as well. Kurt?
Yeah, Wallington needs to get back on track offensively. They've been struggling offensively, but the same with Weehawken. St. Mary's shut them down, Jack. Like you said, you were broadcasting it live. But I think they're 2 pretty good defenses. I think this is going to be a very low defensive game. But I think, like John was saying, I think Weehawken might just be a little better athletically. So I'm going to take Weehawken in a close game at home.
All right, and then our next matchup is, did it advance there? No, nope. Sorry. Go ahead. 3-1 Park Ridge at 3-1 Woodridge. John.
Man, listen, I've always loved the kids up in Park Ridge. And they're in the middle of nowhere. They're in North Jersey. They're in the woods. It's awesome. Have a lot of experience with Woodridge in the past. I love, again, another coach I would love to play for if I was a kid. But these kids from Park Ridge, man, every week you're hearing about their names. They're young. They're grinders. I gotta go with them. I'm going with the Park Ridge kids. I love Woodridge guys, but I'm going with Park Ridge on this one.
All right, how about you, Jack?
All right, Mr. Beelan, I don't have your picks. I'm going to disagree with you for the first time here tonight. Listen, man, I love Coach Catrona. I think he's done a great job there at Woodridge. By the way, a little update for you, Kurt and Jen. He did win his fantasy baseball championship.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Congratulations to Coach Catrona. I think Woodridge, obviously that game against St. Mary's was rough, but they played so well outside of that. And I think at home, it's a tough place to go play. They've got a great atmosphere there. I'm going to take Woodridge here at home.
talk about another great facility. We did our live broadcast there before the
Yeah.
St. Mary's game, and just what a nice facility. And again, you talk about, like, I feel like the whole town coming out to support. It was just so nice to see. I'm giving the edge here to Woodridge as well. John, I feel like you hit the nail on the head with Parkridge having some of that youth on their team, right? That's really like stepping up. We mentioned Patrick Randolph or Rudolph. I don't remember. Every week, right? He's a freshman. And across all categories, he's gotten on every league, touchdowns, rushing, the defensive stats. I know. But you know what? I'm going with Coach Catrona and Woodridge in this one.
I'll tell you this right now. This game is going to be for next year, a year from now. I'm calling it. This team's going to be for that division championship, because both of these teams are going to be back. They're younger, like you said, Patrick Randolph. I mean, the kid's all over the field. But Jack nailed it. You got to go to Woodridge, and you know what? As St. Mary's, listen to me. They played like a 9.5 out of 10 that game. Am I right, Jack, on that game? I mean, did St. Mary's play that game almost a perfect game?
Yeah, it couldn't have been any better. I mean, it was 21-0, not even like 3 minutes into the game.
And you know what? They got ambushed right there. And you know what? Like, hey, Coach Catrone again learns from it. And I said this at Parkridge. After St. Mary's took care of Parkridge, I said they're just going to be win after win after win. Yep. So these are two good programs, but I think Chris Rios is a little difference. I think they're a little more explosive offensively, if that makes sense. And I think Woodridge can slow Parkridge down a little more. I'm going to go with Coach Catrone. I'm going to take Woodridge.
All right. Our next game is 3-0 Butler at 2-1 Hasbrouck Heights. John, who do you have here?
Toughy with this one. I watched the Heights little things clip that you guys just had with them. These kids could run the ball like crazy. They got the two-headed monsters and everything like that. But at the same exact time, guys, when you got two guys that constantly run the ball and you don't throw the ball, I'm blitzing every single guy at you. I'm keeping one high safety over there, and I'm coming at you every single play. I'm going to force you to throw the ball and force you to throw the ball until you can't throw the ball. I'm taking Butler on this one. These Butler kids are going to come at them this week.
How about you, Jack?
All right, well, this is a very tough one for me to pick. I spent a lot of time debating it, but you know what? I need an upset in here somewhere. I'm going with my hometown team, the Hasbrouck Heights Aviators, to pull off the upset in this game.
And Kenny just said, upset of the week, Heights.
Look
at this.
See, look, I'm perfect for picking.
Totally. You know what? I was going to say that is very Kenny-esque right there. So perfect. This is a tough one. Coach Seri on this evening saying himself that they would have to play like a near perfect game, right? I've picked Butler to be the NJIC overall champion. So I have to go Butler on this one.
Listen, Beelan broke it down perfect. I mean, we said it. Heights has to be able, if Heights has to be able to run the game, if they're forced to throw this ball 25 times.
Not to cut you off, they throw it 10 times a game. That's nothing.
Yep. They're
force them to throw the ball and force them to throw the ball. They're going to run and come at it every single play and force you to throw it and try to beat you a different way. If you can't do it, I don't know, man. It's a tough thing to get over. Because
no, you're right. You're right. And the problem is, though, Heights can run it, man. Yeah. Heights is, they put up 384 last week. Every week it's over 250. And I'm just going to say this, Jen. Be careful, Butler, because you're going into Heights and, crazy things happen in that building, in that stadium on Friday nights. I'm going to go Butler, but close. Listen, close.
Kurt, a lot of seniors on that Butler team.
I know, John. Trust me. I know, right? I mean, listen, they're good.
Yeah.
They're good. But, if I'm an underdog and I'm going to beat you, I want to say, you know what? I'm going to just run it down your throat and see if you could stop it. And hey, if Butler stops it, and Butler could stop it, if they could stop it, more talent to you. But I'm going to tell you this. Heights is going to come out and try to run it right down their throat. Not only for themselves to take keep Heights' defense off the field, keep Butler's offense off the field. I'm going to go Butler, but I'm not going to be shocked at all if Heights wins this game. But I'm going to take Butler.
All right. Our last matchup of the week is what we're calling the game of the week
Mhm.
because of the Liberty Division implications here, right? So if Rutherford beats Glen Rock, right, it kind of throws a
Chaos.
whole wrench into the division standings, right? Head to head.
Glen Rock wins, they're pretty much going to go.
We keep kind of using, master of your own destiny here. But anyway, 2-0 Rutherford traveling to 3-0 Glen Rock. John, who do you have?
Listen, Glen Rock, 3 games, they only give up 2 touchdowns all season so far, back-to-back 40-point games. You can't turn your head on that. You can't turn your head on that. They're playing at home. I'm going with Glen Rock.
How about you, Jack?
Man, this is another tough one. Game of the week, as you guys mentioned. Sorry, Rutherford. I know you were on here before, but I'm going with Glen Rock here at home. Man, Glen Rock, are they the favorites in the NJIC right now? They very well could be. So give me Glen Rock here in this game.
All right. This was a tough one to pick. Rutherford on the rise after their opening season, disappointing loss to Waldwick. Coach has said it himself, a young team, right? They're finding their way. They're learning their way. And you know what? It's so hard. And we talked about this. Back-to-back NJIC championships. Teams are probably chomping at the bit when they feel like they have that little tiny opening, right? Glen Rock gets them at home. They're coming in undefeated. They know the implications. I'm going with Glen Rock in this one.
Yeah, this is a great matchup. And again, you said, again, after that week 0 performance against Waldwick, everyone was like, okay, Rutherford's done. They can't win the league. That's not the case now, right? If you would have told them after that, you'd have a chance in 2 more weeks, they'd all sign up for that, right? 2 weeks older or 3 weeks, whatever, 3 weeks older, more experienced, stuff like that. Glen Rock is phenomenal. What is it? Nick Atme and Iacheta. I mean, that combination, they could run the ball. He's unbelievable. And Rutherford, I mean, you got Goya, you got Joya. I'm sorry, I can't mention his name. Pawsey. I said that one right though, right? Okay, Joya. Balkin quarterbacking. This team just knows how to win. Listen, Glen Rock's gonna hate me because I always pick against them. But I always say this: like when you have a chance to like a championship contender, right? And you can put them away and say, that's it, they're done. But if you give that championship team hope, any hope, they look and say, we're still alive to kill them, right?
Yeah.
Rutherford's still alive, right?
Yes, they are.
Those kids are more experienced now. There's kids on that team that played in an NJIC championship last year and won it.
Mm-hmm. Won multiple.
But I'm saying that last year, including that quarterback, as a freshman, he's not going to be intimidated. I'm taking Rutherford.
All right.
I'm taking Rutherford. I'm taking chaos in that division. I'm telling you.
I want to see chaos.
I believe in Rutherford. Listen, and Glen Rock is phenomenal. But I firmly believe that the confidence level and that winning experience and that you know what? I have a second chance now. I'm going Rutherford.
All right. Great. There we have it. All right.
Dale saying, you guys remind me of the panel on America's Got Talent. LOL.
John, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate your insight. You did your homework.
You did
your homework for sure. You were very knowledgeable. Thank you so much.
Yeah, listen, I've been following a little bit more. I'm out here. You guys know I'm out in Morris County, so it's a little bit different. But I have been keeping track a little bit more. I'm the league rep in my town for the football program, so
nice.
It helps out getting to know a little bit more, other schools and talents and stuff like that. So no, it's exciting, man. I love seeing these kids. Hopefully one day maybe I'll be coaching, I don't know, maybe I'll be on the show in a couple of years and seeing some things, but
let's go.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So we don't know what's in the store, but we'll figure it out, but I appreciate it, guys.
No, you were awesome.
Yeah,
Dylan.
exactly.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us. Jack, thank you as well.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for another great show.
No, you did a great job behind the scenes.
And
We
I-
appreciate it.
I want to thank. We had a ton of guests tonight. I want to go back to our first show. Thank Coach Devonta. He had on him with Anthony and Mike, and then we had I don't want to miss any
Becton.
names here. We had Becton, and he had his 3 captains with him. We had Coach Dunn from Rutherford, and he had Chris and Lou with him, and then we had Coach
Hasbrouck
Seri
Heights.
from Hasbrouck Heights with Jake and Joe. We truly appreciate it. It's our pleasure to cover this conference in depth. We're really enjoying it. And just
Recap show this week.
Yep, keep giving us the stats, coaches. We don't want to miss anybody. We want to give the recognition to the kids who are working so hard. So please keep us informed.
A lot of good games this week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for watching.
And Kurt, good luck this week, buddy.
Yeah, hey, ask Jen. I picked them. I'm going to say this right now on air. I had 49ers over Jets. You know what? We're both going to celebrate this year because you know why? It might be like 69. Hey, the Mets, this might be a whole 69 because the Knicks are going to win it and your New York Jets are going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, man. I hope so, man. Let's see.
There's
There
your
it
kiss
is.
of death.
There it is. Well, good luck this Sunday.
Yeah, bye.
All right.
Good night.
Thank you, Breland.